And good evening, everyone. I'm Blaine Singletary, and welcome to ARML on this Thursday night. I'm Blaine Singletary, and I'm joined tonight by Nathaniel here on the desk. How you doing, Nathaniel?
Doing great. Looking forward to another set of matches. Looks like we'll start with A2, then maybe move to A1 or B1, and perhaps finish with an A1.
Yeah, we have a lot happening in the league tonight. A lot of matches. We were just talking about this suddenly popping up, so definitely cards subject to change, but it's only going to get better as the night goes on. So A2, we're starting off with. We've got QETC, my teammate back in the Saki Cord Championships.
Mm-hmm.
CS Blue, also known as Aaron, and Shiromi Stanley, and Shiromi is 6-1, and Aura Soul is Stanley D there.
Yeah, I
Just to
remember
mix it
playing
up.
against. I think I was playing against. Oh no, I wasn't. I remember seeing Orasol playing in a playoffs way back in the initial beta league, and of course,
Mm-hmm.
Sichuan Shiromi. I'll probably be using those two names interchangeably throughout this broadcast. Always fun to watch, and of course, names like Dustin and Aaron, two pretty well-known players in this division.
Absolutely. And we are underway. There's the gong, East 1. And
Oh,
the Dora this time is 4. Look at this dealer hand from Shiromi here. Lots of Manzu, 2 complete Ankos already. And picking up that pair, the Pinzu as well. You have a lot of possibilities with something like this.
it was Ishan
Not
10
to be
after.
out.
Oh, sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt
East
you.
on 10.
Was Ishan
No,
10
that's
at the
fine.
first discard? How about that?
That is incredible. But not to be outdone, we got a extreme presence of the Pinzu over on the right. We have some good pair action going on. Anko's in there as well, and some other parts of the other suits, but that could easily be turned into a full flush. We see an Anko across the table as well with a pair. Has some promise, but with the rate these hands are going, it's definitely going to need a little speed boost. We see a pair and some other somewhat encouraging shapes over on CS Blue's side,
Gee.
but again, going to need some help, and that Chi will certainly be part of that help.
Yeah, so interesting move from Shidomi here. I wanted to incorporate the Dora Force, so but ended up losing a Shanten, and after drawing the 5, is still Ishanten here. Could draw back into the 2-5 shape or draw a 4-mon, or you can draw onto the 6-6-7. It's still very wide. Could have even called there for Tempai. I wonder how Chinitsu, this hand to the right, is, because look at all those pin tiles, dropping the 6 and eventually the Dora as well.
Picking up that 3 just now as well.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Across the table, there's a chance that 789 Sanshoku, and you have 2 Dora in hand, so you might see Dustin just call for this. However, Dustin is known to play a little bit quieter, go for the Ricci, go for the bigger value. But when you get a chance at another Dora, you just go for it. And you can drop the 2-pin here and still go for an open hand. This is great.
Dealer is Tenpai, waiting on a Tonki weight of the 4-mon.
It will
Not seeing any
also
of those out at all.
win on the 2 and 5,
That's right, the 2 as well.
and that makes
2
this
and a 5.
Furi 10 actually, because the 2 is discarded earlier. So
We have to
Shinami,
draw it.
yeah, Shinami knows this. They're probably thinking about switching to a better weight here, but that's still Furi 10. Oh no. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Decides that the weight is wide enough to just declare the Ricci for Ricci Tanyao, Dora 1, and hope to Tsumo it. And
It's going to be
unfortunately,
still early enough to strike some fear into these players. In fact, you see Aurasol immediately calling that 9-pin.
and Dustin across the table folding, discarding the 9-pin. So yeah, the reach definitely causing some consternation around the table. Oh, there it is.
Ooh, nice. Would have been Ipatsu, but that call. There you go, Shinitsu. Oh wait, no, it wouldn't be Ipatsu. There was no Ricci call. That's right. But Shinitsu, 5 Han, incredible start to this match.
Yeah, so interesting to see that Furi-ten Ricci baited the 9-pin out, got called into Tempai, and then immediately drawn in. So great start for Stanley. Oh, speaking of great starts.
Yes. Getting 2 Dora, one of them just picked up in this hand on Aurasol's dealership now. You have a good sequence in that 6-7-8 with an extra 7 to boot. Got the other decent shapes in here. I'll have to see how the rest of that hand resolves. And looking on the right, we see in Dustin's hand, you have a pair and some other good. Well, they're all coming together there with those sequences. The 4, 5, 6, 7 Also, similar action happening in the Sozu side and some pairs there as well. Up across in CS Blue's hand, a full Anko of the 4-pin ready to go, picking up a pair of the 8 So. Thinking about what to do with that, gonna incorporate that into the hand. Looking on the left side, Shiromi, we see a good sequence there at the moment. East and Souths in the hand there, a pair of each. So with the pair of 2s, that makes 3. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, really waiting for the East to come out. Was not willing to call the South go Atozuke, which makes sense because the shapes were already quite good. Interesting to call this, though. I guess there's a backdoor Tanyao, but Ricci instead to the right. Oh, that's a great Ricci. Ricci,
Yes,
Tanyao, Pinfu, Dora.
And waiting on the 6 Mon and the 3 Mon, I believe. There we go. That's the door indicator, of course. And we see one of the 6 Mon in dealer's hand. I don't see that drop in. It's probably pretty well locked up in there.
But still 5 tiles left in the wall, so not bad sumo chances. You're not really expecting that any other player will discard this weight, especially, as you said, the door indicator is a super scary tile to drop. However, we'll see if Stanley decides to push the issue and just drops Dora. Forget the door indicator, and Dustin will deal right in, had no choice. And this is going to be expensive. Ricci, Pots, Pinfu, Ipeiko, Dora, and Nogura, but still 12k.
Ooh.
Well, you don't expect to lose those if you reach first.
That's 2 Mongon in a row. One as dealer, one as non-dealer. That puts it at 52,000 points. Well ahead of everybody else at the table right now. Incredible start.
And just gutsy play from Stanley, willing to drop Dora into a Ricci, and was rewarded big time.
East 2 continues with the 7 So as the Dora. And looking at the dealer's hand now, you have a Yakuhai pair of the Chun, and also the West in there as well. You see some sequences in Manzu as well, another pair of 9s. Over on the right, we see an Anko of the 8 So, a pair, actually an Anko of the 9 Mon as well. Pretty encouraging to start off with 2 Anko there in one opening hand from Dustin. Looking across to Aaron, see some sequences already formed, and a pair there as well. Got a little work to do. Meanwhile, moving on to Shiromi, sequence there in the Pinzu and also the Sozu, and a pair of the Hatsu. So a lot happening there. Meanwhile, though, dealer has already called West and Red Dragon. Looks like possibly setting up for a Honitsu.
Absolutely. Saw the path and immediately took it. No hesitation on the West either. Usually, a lot of times you'll think, okay, I'll wait for the Chun to come first to guarantee the value. But Stanley knew exactly what he wanted.
Mm-hmm. And West also kind of makes people at the table think, what are they going to try to do here? Dustin picking up an undeclared Khan there with the 8 So. Possibly going to hang on to that. I'd say maybe to milk a Rinshan towards the end, but then again, you have that 9, so you can do stuff with that.
Yeah, for example, if you draw a 7 So, you make a 7, 8, 9 sequence, and you still have the 8, 8, 8 shape. Oh, here's Tenpai for dealer.
Interesting. Looking at the 6 or the 3. Or this would be it. Would this be a 3-sided?
No, just the 6-3 here.
So.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, here's a Ricci. So as predicted, that 7 is drawn in.
And keeping that Khan of 8, or rather just 4 tiles of 8 So.
And if you're dealer, I think you still push this.
Yes.
It's just Ricci Dora 1.
You do have a considerable lead, though. You might want to start thinking about defending that, but you don't need to.
That dealt into Toyman, I think, but that had no Yaku, so it could not win.
That's right.
It just drew the 4-pin, across the table. It just drew the 4-pin to make that Tanyao, so now a 7 would deal in, but at the time it did not. And it has increased the value even to Tanyao as well, so that technically is Tanyao Dora 1 across the table. Could declare the Ricci.
And here's the 7-pin. Doesn't fit in this hand. Definitely seeing something wrong, though. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, 4-7, 3-6, both very dangerous discards, and Stanley decides to give it up there.
We're just going to see a fold now, but Definitely nothing to worry about. I mean, the only thing you'd have to worry about is dealing in this early on. You don't want to give that lead up.
Yeah.
Looks like top of the table is gonna fold as well on this one.
Yeah, importantly, Stanley dropping 5 mon instead of the well, it was safe, but the 7 mon was also safe, and there's not much difference between the two, but the 7 would have dealt into Aaron across the table, but because he chose 5 mon first, forced Aaron to fold his own hand or make a maneuver to incorporate the second Dora draw, and so Stanley now has 2 more safe tiles. Those being the 7 mon.
Yeah. And 4 tiles to go. That was I believe, the last pickup from Dustin.
There's still 4 left in the wall. Can we see Haite? No.
Oh, not quite, but that 2-pin was close.
That's a
Pretty
lot.
interesting to see. Yeah, everybody was getting to Tenpai there, but kind of folded to Dustin. That's going to give him a cool 3,000 points. That'll kind of help out a little bit there. Pretty deep in last, but with Dealer, that can all change as we move into East 3. Dora now is 7 pin. We see one of those in the hand right now, along with a whole lot of other pin, including a pair of the 4 and the 6. Some other suits as well. You could turn this into a flush pretty quickly, even a straight if you're up for that. Looking at the right for Aaron's hand, we see similar story with the Manzu. It doesn't seem to be going head first into that, and probably a good idea too. You got 2 sequences there. You have some other shapes in the other hands you don't want to ignore. Ishanten, that's right. In his case, of course. Shiromi has a sequence in the Manzu, and also working on one in the Sozu as well. That 2, little awkward pickup, but we're going to see what they do with that. Hangs on to it.
You have 2 chances at Ipeco here, right? One in the Manzu, one in the Sozu. That's hands Ishanten as well.
I do see that, yes. So we better move on to Arasol with an Anko of the South. It's not Yakuhai, but can be used as a good way to push this hand forward in case you're going for just a quick Reachy, which is exactly what we see Aaron calling now. Looking like they're looking for the 5 and the 2 of Pinzu. There's the 2 picked up. Yeah, but that fits pretty well in this hand, so I don't see that dropping.
It was expected that Aaron would get to Tenpai pretty quickly. Had extremely good shapes. Richie Pifu Dora 1 is not bad at all. The 2-5 weight is starting to die a little bit. We see there's only 1-2 left and 2-5 pin left. The hand on the left, Stanley might be trying to make Chanta here, but it's going to be difficult to push that 3-pin. That's definitely a weak spot hand, but it doesn't matter because there's the 5-pin drawn into hand. Richie Tsumo Pifu Dora would need max value via an Uda, but we do not find it. So just the 5,200. But that will push
800 points.
Yeah, it will push Aaron over 30k.
There you go. As we head into East 4, so we're moving right along here. The door is East, and we see an Anko of the White Dragons in this opening hand from the dealer. Some interesting looking shapes in Manzu and Sozu. A few orphan tiles there in, well, not those kind of orphans, but you know what I mean. Just 2 lonely tiles there in the Pinzu. Meanwhile, speaking of orphans, I'm seeing across.
Yeah.
Yes, that's coming together very quickly. Anko of the 5 Mon got some very encouraging shapes for sure. All set to go in this hand.
Well, this is an interesting decision.
Yes.
Do you want the Ipeco in the upper Sozu, or do you want the wider acceptance with the 1-4? Chooses the wider acceptance here, so this is the max efficiency play. Ishanten here.
And that's exactly what I'd be doing in Stanley's case right now. Just keep this moving. You know, you don't want anybody in this dealer turn to really start catching fire. Because you got a lead, but it's still early on. We're not even to the half yet. Meanwhile, Dustin calling the Hatsu and picking up an Anko of the 2 Mon. That looks pretty close to call as well. Needs a little more value. Got an East there. If you can find the other ones, that would certainly crank things up a bit. But...
Well, Shiromi draws a pair of the Easts. But there's
one of them already dropped. One of them in Dustin's hand. We'll see what happens there. But yes, Ricci from across the table with Stanley.
6-9 Mon is the weight. Would just be Ricci only if the 9 is the winning tile. If the 6 is drawn, then it would be Tanya as well.
There we go. And one of the nines, they can only see one of the nines dropped right now. We see the sixes in the other hands right now and a nine there as well. Plenty potential left from the wall at this point.
Yeah, 3 in the wall. It's not terrible. The problem is it doesn't look like anyone really wants to discard Monzu just from the discards here. So it feels like the dangerous suit if you're sitting around the table. Sozu, on the other hand, looks fairly safe. So if someone's trying to fold, they might start with the Sozu, and then the lower pin tiles, and then the Monzu.
I could also see people maybe wanting to hang on to the shapes they have with Monzu at this point.
Yeah, Aaron is dealer. Of course, when you're dealer, you have a little bit more incentive to fight. Isn't that far out from completing the hand, just 2 tiles away from finding Tempai. And then, of course, the hand to the right has a pair of Dora. That's not bad either. The problem is it's really hard to use that Dora because Dustin has the last one. It's hard to discard the Dora against a reach.
Absolutely. So you got to think, is this hand really viable? And I'm seeing in this, I'm just not seeing one you could really easily push with, but that south, that's your seat wind.
I mean, there's a
Maybe little
call.
something there.
Tempai would be discarding the east here. Is not willing to do
That's
that.
the 8th. Yeah.
And that puts Dustin in a little bit of trouble. Should the 4 come out and get called? Is there another 4 left? Yeah, there's one more left. Then we might see the 6 come out. But Aaron, on the other hand, finds Tempai, knows that the 5 is safe, so doesn't choose the wider 4 7-pin weight, just chooses the Shampoo 6-pin 7. So this does have a Yaku because of the concealed white dragons.
Yeah. No need to call Ricci. Especially when you're dealer. Just want to sneak out with this one to stay with it.
I think you can push the 2. There are 3 of the 3s gone. So it's one chance, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, recognizes the dangerous suit is the Monzu here, so we'll hope to redraw around that. You're sort of wishing you had your 3-mon back.
There's not much time to really draw around, though. We're down to 6 tiles. Yeah, at this point, your second place, still you've got the best shot at anybody for taking the lead, and we still got 4 more rounds
Absolutely.
left. So I think that's the right move here to fold this one out. Don't take a huge chance if you don't have to. That'll be Stanley taking the no 10 payments this time, adding 3,000 points back to the score.
Oh.
And that's the half. We're moving on to South 1. Dora is 7-mon. We see one of those in the dealer's opening hand here with the good shape of the Monzu already locked in. We see the Pinzu as well. There's a pair there right now.
You'll have to give me a second. It looks like we've got the Tenho glitch. I'll have to pull a quick refresh in.
All good. And we're back, and we see the hand still similar story at this point. You got some encouraging shapes, though, with the Pinzu and edge weight on the Sozu. That one definitely not fitting in right now. Let's move around the table. Aura Soul has an Anko of the 4 Monzu and a pair in that suit as well. Also Anko of the 7. I believe that's Rianshanten right now. And looking across, we see some shapes forming up in the Sozu, as well as a couple pairs in Monzu as well. Completed sequence in Pinzu. And over on the left, we see... on the right, it's the good sequence already finished off with the Pinzu, pair in the Sozu as well. A couple of Wests there at the end. We'll see what he does with that.
Yeah, so Shidami draws the 3rd Dora, finds Tempai, and decides this is enough value to clear Ricci with, even though it's a bad weight. Now we can see it's a really bad weight, actually, because Stanley's got 3 of the winning tiles in their hand to the right. So actually only 1 left in the wall. However, with the lack of information, you might be forced.
That looks great, yeah. In this sand, I mean, that looks like too good of a chance to pass up.
Oh, yeah.
Here comes that 7. That's going to fit okay in Aaron's hand. Not quite. See how that shakes out. But
Aaron has Adora, has Pinfu, potentially Tanyao. If Aaron draws into Tenpai, we might see the 7 come out.
that's true. Unless you get the 6 so.
Yeah, the 6 so then you have a choice.
that.
Typically,
Yeah.
you discard towards the boundary, towards the edge, so you probably still drop the 7 there, especially with 2 of the 8s gone. Discard already, but there'll at least be a choice.
You want to give up that Dora, though,
Right.
is the question.
Well, let's see, the door being the 7, Mon. Yeah, you probably don't have to drop that.
Especially against a Ricci, though.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'd be at
definitely.
least a little wary. I say this as someone who faced this similar situation in my league games earlier this week, and it definitely was the wrong tile to drop. I got burned pretty bad that hand. So
Well,
I feel for this quandary.
Maybe against 2 Richis, we'll not see a push. As Stanley finds Tenpai, it will be a Shampoo wait. 3.
16, 3 Mon.
It's not amazing, but if you can draw it yourself, you have Saranko in addition to the Richi Tanyao. That calls to break the Ipatsu.
Good move there.
There are how many tiles left? There are 0 tiles left in the wall for this wait as well, so it's a matter of who is going to drop the winning tile, if anyone. 9 Mon looks pretty safe.
I don't see anyone really taking a serious shot here, except, well, we do have 2 people who have reached. Oh, 6 so. Drops the 9. That's not gonna...
Yeah, that technically had a completed hand, but no Yaku, so had to drop the tile, and 9 was the safest there. Suji to 1 reach, Genbutsu to the another, so very nice play by Aaron. And we stay here as dealer.
Since dealer was one of the 3 with the no 10 payments. There we go. 6 so is the Dora this time with this 2. Well, there's 2 counters in the pot now. This is the first repeat. Now we're seeing a pretty decent hand here for the dealer. We have a 1, 2, 3 Sozu, and now picking up an 8 to finish off a edge sequence on the Pinzu side. You got a Chanta Junchan possibility here for sure.
Yeah, Sanshoku
looking at the other shapes in this hand, and Sanshoku, absolutely. Looking on the right side here, we have a pair of the Easts. No longer Yaku High, but you also have a South and a West. Maybe do something with that. Otherwise, I'm not seeing too much in this hand aside some good forming shapes here in the Manzu.
Yeah, maybe a Manzu Honitsu push?
Could be. That's the only way I really see to keep this one going. Looking across in Dustin's hand, we see a pair of the 1 pin. Part of a sequence of the 1, 2, 3. Also with the Manzu as well. No sign of those 1, 2, 3s in Sozu, but could certainly happen. Still early on. And over on the left, we see a pair and a good sequence there. 2 pairs, in fact. And a good sequence in the Pinzu as well.
Yeah, that one looks very normal.
Right.
Probably just a Ricci. Oh, speaking of which.
Yeah, here comes the dealer with a Ricci. 3 or the 6 Mon to take this one home.
4 in the wall, 4 in hand. So 2 of the 3s, 2 of the 6s in hand for Stanley and Dustin. And Dustin had a pretty good hand here. Is willing to push it too. Ishanten for Ricci Pinhu with chance at Dora. So decides Sozu is safe enough to push.
Tough one, and that's 5 was picked up earlier as well, just now.
Yeah, Dustin finds another path. Thinks, okay, I can drop 1 Mon, and maybe work my way around. Oh, draws Dora, so now Dustin really has a lot of incentive to push, but it's not in time. Sichuan will find the Tsumo Rich, Tsumo Pinhu, Noda, but that is a nice pickup, 13 all.
8,500 points thanks to the growing number of counters in this pot.
Absolutely.
And a couple of Ricci sticks left over as well.
Yeah, there were 3, I think, before that Sumo, or before the Ricci.
That is true, yes. That is true. South one continues. The Dora is green dragon.
Yes.
Right? Okay. I always have to think about that one. But we see look at this Ipeiko forming up in the dealer's hand right now. 3, 4, 5 Sozu. As far as the other parts of the hand, looking a little iffy at this moment. That 7 pickup's going to be great, though. Sozu definitely cooperating here. Meanwhile, in Aurasol's hand, we have an Anko of the 7 pin. Some other really nice shapes forming up here as well. A couple pairs hanging out. Looking across to Dustin's hand, great presence of the Pinzu right now. Good sequence in that. Some other good shapes forming up. A pair of the Hatsu over at the end. And on the left, good shapes in Manzu. And some okay shapes in the other suits as well. That
Yeah.
Dora certainly helps.
Yeah, so the big question I think is Aaron's hand, the one that you were just talking about. You've got 2 pairs, a completed sequence, and a Yamen, and a Kanchan. And then this Dora. How long are you going to hold on to this Dora? Because your hand's kind of okay. It's not amazing in terms of value, and it is a little bit weak in terms of the shapes, although that 2 Mon pickup helps a bit. You're probably not going to be able to win this using the Dora, so you get rid of it sooner or later. And Aaron's choosing later, but this is giving Dustin across the table time to transform this into a Honitsu that could accept 3 Yakuhai.
Oh, yes. Meanwhile, the dealer has called Ricci Tonki weight on the 7 Mon.
I was probably not expecting it to be just a Tonki weight here. Is a little bit awkward as one's already discarded, but it comes right out.
Ooh.
The Manzu definitely looked safe. Fairly safe, I guess. Safer than the other suits, that's for sure. And the Tanyao and the Ura helped make this hand extremely valuable. And Dustin was sitting there across the table with a monster that just didn't get a chance to finish.
Yeah, but look at this snowballing score now from Sichuan. 37,600 points, now definitely striking distance of the lead now, as we are still in South 1. The Dora is now White Dragon, and we see another Ipeco shot here in this hand with the 6, 7, 8 Pinzu. But you got 2 pairs alongside that, so you could easily turn that into Chitoi as well. Aurosol here has some pretty encouraging looking shapes, a couple pairs here and there, a completed Sozu sequence. And across we see a good sequence in the Sozu, forming up shapes in the Manzu, and a few pairs here and there. Great Manzu presence over on the left, though. Take a look at that with a pair of the Manzu. Yeah, 5, 7, got a 6 there. You got another Ipeco chance there for sure. And some good shapes in the Sozu to definitely help push that along.
Oh,
This
nice.
game's gotten close. But
Yeah.
Look at that pickup.
So Ishanten for the dealer, and would have a guaranteed good weight Ricci, should they find Tempai. It was interesting the decision was made a little bit earlier to not go for the Ipeco, but with all the 9s getting discarded, it made the weight a little bit worse.
Mm-hmm. You don't need much to catch the leader at this point.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Stanley's hand still has some work to do. And of course, Dustin, trying to find value here, has a door and will probably retain that till the end of the game, or until at least the second one is discarded, just to try to eke out as much value as possible. Could even call the 2-pin and try to wait Dora Tonki, but chooses to stay closed as he's known to do. And now Ishanten for Ricci South, so could be a nice weight here.
Aurosol picking up that 4 Mon. Gonna help push that along a little bit more.
Oh, interesting. Chooses to drop the 5-pin, which was, I guess that's fine. Yeah, I missed the 9 Mon pair, and now picks up the 4-pin. So this is Ishanten. Yeah. I'm looking at the sideways and misreading it, but yeah, is Ishanten. Dealer declares Ricci, though. Did end up finding Tempai.
3 Mon, 6 Mon. 6 Mon picked up in CS Blue's hand. I don't think we're going to see that drop, though. Drops the 8 Mon instead.
Yeah.
You have Ipeco now with that 6 Mon.
Yeah, it does lock in the Ipeco. That's nice. You really want to draw the 3 Mon, otherwise it's going to be hard to push.
Got the 3 Mon up in the across in Dustin's hand as well.
Wow.
3 Mon's picked up here by the dealer, and we're just on a roll. with Ricci Sumo Hatsu for another 8,200 points, and that's the lead, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, and look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs. And 2 of them
And
are
two of them are
Dora.
Dora.
And they're callable too. You could call Chun Tone and go for Toy Toy even, but will you find Chitoi Tenpai first?
It's incredible. I mean, this is the start of the hand. You can go anywhere with this.
Absolutely.
The world is your oyster with this hand.
Now, it
Wow.
is a little awkward, despite the Chun and Tone being easy to call. The 4-pin, Dora, 5, so those are a little bit harder. So I think Shidomi is making...
Call the East, though.
Yeah. I think he's making this call with the idea that you don't have to call Pwn on everything. You can Chi 7, 8 for a sequence. Oh. You could just throw it back. You already have the pairs that you need if you're going to go the Toy Toy route. If you're trying to commit yourself to Toy Toy, then it's more efficient to drop the 8. It gives you more calling options, but I don't think you need the Toy Toy. It didn't even get a chance to Chi there because Dustin calls the 9 Mon and is Tenpai now for the 1-4 Mon.
Wow.
Hakudora 1.
Good way to just end this dealership now. We're on the 5th repeat counter.
Yes.
Not 5 repeats in this round, but...
Right. Yeah, it's not just 2,000, it's 2,000 plus 1,500 from the Homba.
Oh, absolutely. That'll get you above 30k and then some.
Well, if you're in Dustin's seat, you're just trying to get anything.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, Shidomi here hasn't found another tile to call just yet. 4-pin hasn't been drawn, 7 hasn't been drawn, 7 Mon.
That's the only thing about hands like this. They look so great when they start, but then mid-hand you can just suddenly start drawing nothing. But we got Ricci from Aaron over here. Looking for... I believe that's also the 1 and the 4.
No,
That's the 6 and the 9 of Sozu.
Yeah. Oh, and Dustin draws another Dora, so... decides, I'll shift the pair, I'll draw another 5 or 8, so... And now Tenpai in the 5-8, but that's Huriten. So we need Tetsumo. Oh, and actually Dustin cannot win with this weight.
And there... Well, that wasn't the 1, but... Oh, gonna deal in here for Ricci, Pinfu, no Ura. That'll be 4,500 points to Aaron after the Ricci sticks are.
Yeah, that was so unlucky, drawing the Dora and then forced to switch your weight into Fruity 10 and then drawing the winning tile. There was really almost nothing you could do about that. But
Let's focus on some good luck already starting off, though, in South 2. 2 Dora in the dealer's hand to start with. Other than that, though, with that other pair of the Sozu, I'm not seeing too much happening. You got some good shapes. We'll see if he can bring that home and convert that for points. Shiromi making an early call of the Sozu, 1, 2, 3. Looking like going for Chanta here. Sanshoku, even, with the 1, 3, 1, 2 you see in the Manzu, Pinzu, respectively. Also an early call of South up across, the Yakuhai Round Wind. We see a picking up a good sequence in Sozu there. And some good shapes that could lend themselves to more sequences pretty early on. And we're just going backwards here. So looking at Dustin's hand over on the right, we see some good sequences there. It's a pair of the Sozu as well. Interesting to see where I'll go with this. Got a little bit of work to do with the Manzu suit there. Sitting over on its own, but hoping for a little bit of an upswing, definitely in his case.
Nobody here with a tremendous amount of value outside of the dealer who's got the 2 Dora. Toyman's hand is Ishan 10. Very interesting call. I love the play, Aaron. Nicely done. Calls here in order to make the shift to Chanta.
Yeah.
Already had the 6, 7, 8 in hand, but decided I can eke out a little bit more value here.
That's what you want to do in these last few rounds, especially with now it being a pretty close 3-way race for the lead.
Yeah, we can see Aaron's only 5,600 points behind, and I'm really excited, if Aaron wins this hand with the extra value, if that's going to make the difference in the end.
Absolutely.
Still Ishanten.
Drop that 8 mon. Seems to be committing to the Pinzu shapes you have for that Shanta here.
Yeah, your option there is drop the 3 and the 2 pin and wait for the 7 mon to come out, or to just keep the shapes the way you have them and hope to draw a 1 pin or a 9 mon to be your pair.
Riichi.
Oh, Stanley finds Tenpai.
Now.
Riichi door 2.
Closed wait. Excuse me. Looking for the 5 mon, and that was just picked up across. Good read from Aaron in this case. It's the 1 tile waiting on. Meanwhile, Shiromi is in Tenpai as well, waiting on the 4 or the 7. So.
Oh, 5 does not look good either.
So Ditz out of Tenpai, dropping the 1 mon.
Oh no, and then the 5 comes out.
Hate to see it, but then again, Shiromi still in the lead.
Yeah.
Not by a great margin anymore, but still in the lead.
Oh, now temptation for Aaron to call into Tenpai. Tenpai does not do so. Still finds Tenpai anyway. Will you push the 7? I think the way he's been playing, probably not, but there's so much temptation to do so. It does not push it.
Pushes the other 7 instead.
Yeah, the 7 pin. So not Tenpai here. Does have a route to find his way back into Tenpai, should he draw around that Monzu 7.
You still got a dealer turn ahead of you. So I definitely think it's a good idea. 6. Now you're just making shapes out of this.
Yeah. So this this 8 is Suji. It only deals into Shampon or Kanchan here. Of course, Tanki. What doesn't deal with Tanki?
Dustin.
Oh no! It draws another.
He's Tenpai waiting on the 4 pin, 1 pin.
Yeah, Dustin was willing to push the 7 button, and that gives CS Blue a route as well. Oh no! I guess 4 is Nakasuji now.
Puts the 6 down instead.
That's also Nakasuji.
Oh, but there's the 4.
That's Hote. The last discard.
With 2 Dora. Mongon, much needed Mongon for Dustin. Gaining 9,000 points. And putting the score back to 5 figures for him now. The Dora is 8. So as we move to South 3. Looking at one of those in hand right now. Part of an interesting little combination of Sozu tiles. Got a couple pairs of Pinzu as well. And some other interesting shapes. Nothing really coming together at this moment, but we'll keep an eye on that. Aaron, meanwhile, has a sequence already complete in Sozu, as well as some good encouraging shapes in the other suits as well. Looking across to Shiromi, Ipeko is pretty close there, just picking up the 3 mon. And definitely other ways you can go with that hand as well. Some good shapes for 3, 4. I'm looking at in all 3 suits right now, so you could go Sanshoku as well. You could probably do both if the wall really cooperates. And in Stanley's hand right now, we see a completed sequence in the Monzu, as well as the Sozu as well. And some good shapes to finish the rest of that for a pretty easy looking, say maybe a Ricci hand there. You could go to Chanta as well, perhaps. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, dealer, with all these pairs, decides to drop the 1 So pair instead of fighting for Chichoi. We will be aiming probably more for our Tanyao. There's even a chance to make Ipeko out of that 6-6-8-8 pin shape. It will require some very specific draws, of course. There's even a world where you get 4-5-6 Sanshoku, but Dustin keeping the options open by discarding the 1 So pair. And yet, no one with super Dora inclusion here. I mean, there's one to the right, one to the left, but nobody's got a pair or anything fantastic.
Right. Shiromi was thinking about that discard for a little bit there.
Yeah, it's an awkward spot. You kind of want the 2-3-4 Sanshoku.
And now you got another 4 pin, so definitely made the right choice there.
The question is, why are we hanging on to the 9 mon? And
that's what I was about to say, yeah.
I think Shiromi might be thinking about the possibility of building into an Itsu. After this 4, though, I think you can't use it anymore and
Right.
just throw it now.
You've got these 4s, they're pairs. You could possibly even turn them to Morankos. There it goes. All right.
Yeah, so
there's your Dora pair from
Ooh.
for Stanley. Definitely going to fit in nicely there.
Yeah, I don't even mind tossing the 9 here and just locking that in as a pair.
I mean, you could even have Sanshoku Doko if you really get lucky with the other 8s.
Oh, Aaron dropped a Dora, and it was not called by Stanley.
Oh.
Interesting.
So what's he thinking? So there goes that idea I just floated, but...
Yeah, I think I would have gone for it. Oh my goodness, there's the Ipeco draw. So this is a silent Tempai from Suswan, waiting for the 2-so, 5-so with Ipeco.
And there's the 5-so.
Wrong. It takes the wrong. Just Ipeco.
That's all you need to keep this hand moving to all last, and with Shiromi in the lead.
Yeah, definitely playing as the person in first place. I think if he was a little bit behind, would have declared the Ricci there, but just wanted to take the small points and move this into all last.
Yes, and that's now, I would say, a much more comfortable margin than we were looking at just a couple rounds ago with that 46,100. Yeah, 12,700 points in the lead now. While we have...
fantastic.
Excuse me. Aaron has a pretty fantastic looking hand here this was your last shot at catching the lead. This is definitely one you want to take. Has that Dora already wrapped up in a good sequence in the Sozu. We have some other good shapes forming up here as well, including another sequence in Manzu. Over on the right in Shiromi's hand, the defense hand here, we see another sequence in Pinzu ready to go and some other shapes. Looks like just about on par with the dealer here. Aura Soul up across. Triplet of the Norths, interestingly enough. Not quite gonna fit with this hand here, but they're not Yakuhai is what I'm trying to say. But see some other pairs and some interesting looking shapes in the Pinzu right now. See where they go from there. Dustin, meanwhile, has a good presence of the Sozu right now. If you're going to try to really spike this and just grab as many points as you can before the end, going for the flush is going to be a little difficult, especially with this dealer reach now unfolding. Looking for the 4 or the 7 mon to convert.
Yeah, 5 in the wall. Well, okay, 4 in the wall now.
Yeah, just picked up the 4 over on Dustin's side.
But yeah, if anybody's interested, take a look at how Aaron constructed this hand, starting with the 8 mon discard. A lot of players would hold on to the 8-8-9 shape. Aaron saw a little bit more out of this and ended up finding Ricci Pinfu. Just barely missed out on the Sanshoku chance, but I'm sure that was in mind when the 8 mon was discarded. So a lot of forward thinking led to this early Ricci. Shiromi, of course, does not want this to allow this to happen. Makes the calls, hoping to find Tanyao here to end this game. In first place, of course. And if you do deal in as Shiromi to Aaron's hand, there will be another round to regain your first place, even if you lose it.
That's right.
In this league, of course, we don't end once the last dealer surpasses into first place. You continue on until the dealership changes.
That does mean an interesting dynamic of being able to essentially fight for revenge, in the same match.
Oh no, Shiromi would be Tempai but bailed. Instead, it's Stanley who finds Chitoi Tempai across the table, declares the Ricci even, waiting on the 6-so.
Yes, that's right. Chitoi on the 6-so. You see two of the 6-sos already out. One's already in a called set. The other one, I was about to say, if that other 6-so was going to come out, that was going to be it. But no, dropping the 9 instead. Other 2 6s. Well, we do have one in hand and one on the wall, but that doesn't matter. Picking up the 4 mon is the dealer for Ricci, Sumo, Pinfu, Dora. 9,800 points. That's going to be just about
it's just shy.
in the lead, but not quite. Still just a about a dozen hundred points there to catch back into the lead here. South 4 continues. Wow, what a nail biter on our hands
Yeah,
here.
this makes
Dora
it so tense.
Oh, wow, yes. 9 pin is the Dora. We don't see that in this hand for once, but we do see some good shapes in a sequence already in the Sozu, and some other tiles here and there. Gonna be a slow hand, but one you can probably convert with should everything go right. Shiromi, meanwhile, I'm seeing a lot more speed out of this one. Good shapes already in the Pinzu, and a sequence already, rather, and some good shapes forming up in the other suits as well. Across in Orasol, seeing a pair there and some other smattering of honors and, well, a lot of just even number gaps here and there, so that'll be a little difficult, unfortunately. Dustin, though, has a Dora, the 9 pin, and a good shape already in the Sozu, so we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, definitely advantage Shidomi right now, given the Hatsu pair was picked up right after you left that hand. Could call that and win with the Dora too.
Absolutely.
Unwilling to drop the South just yet. I don't know if it's a defensive move or an offensive move, because that is double South for Shidomi, but also it's safe against the dealer. Perhaps a little bit of both.
Yeah, if the dealer decides to call Ricci, you can use that.
In the meantime, on the left, Dustin's hand is kind of close, but it's a bit awkward, especially with the door. You want to get a little bit of value out of this, and you'd love to use the door, but it requires getting the 7 pin, which is a kind of hard tile to get.
Of course, we're seeing...
Oh.
Well, we see that in Aaron's hand, but of course he can't call from there.
Very interesting move from Aaron. Decides this hand is not going to be fast enough closed. I need to open and push this forward. Calls the 9-mon, is moving towards a Chanta.
See that. Interesting.
Yeah, that's aggressive. That's bold.
Yeah. I mean, you only need to drop the 4. That's the only one that absolutely can't be in this hand, and there it goes. An aggressive hand. Not a lot of value, but you don't need a lot of value right now.
You just need to keep going. And Shidomi on the right has not found the Hatsu yet because Stanley across the table is building Honitsu, and so hasn't dropped any of those honors yet.
And the other one has been dropped already, so... I mean, as Shiromi, I'm probably past the point of no return with that. I'm probably going to just hang on to that as my pair at the very least.
Right. But if that's your pair, then you need to draw another Dora to complete your shapes.
That's true.
Oh, and he draws it. Sichuan will probably Ricci. 2 of the 5 is visible, but the 2 pin is not. I think you're okay to Ricci this. And does do so. All right, comes down to this.
There's the 2 pin.
Dustin plays
I almost
safe.
thought I saw a drop there for a second. There's the tile right next to it.
Still 4 in the wall. And Aaron wants to fight for this. Doesn't need to. Can accept second place. But if you want first, you got to push.
You're right on that threshold.
Sumo.
Oh, but there's the 5!
And that will be huge.
Oh, man.
But a Mangan for Shiromi. I think there were 4 for Shiromi this game. So Sichuan with a
2 of them happened back-to-back right at the start of the hand. Start of the game. Yeah, big hands for Shiromi tonight for sure. That's going to push them back above 50k for 36.8 points, picking up to the board. Aaron going home with 13.1. Orasol losing 12 points here, and Dustin is out 37.9. I believe the scores should be updating on your screen on the right side just a little bit.
Yep, should come up any second, or we can do it manually as well. But yeah, nice pickup for Aaron, even though it was only a second place. You're in the promotion zone, so a second place is totally fine. A positive finish moves you up towards the top 3. Go ahead and do that manually. Moves you up to the top 3, and...
Well, not quite to the top 3.
Well, yeah, moves towards that direction, of course. And
right,
with a couple more, with the first place, you'll move beyond Daniel for sure. If you are Sichuan, you've moved up into 13th now, just surpassing John, moving a little bit farther away from demotion. In this division, the bottom four demote. So Sichuan is right now is right on the cut line. With another big win like that, could even move up to Tristan's area, which is much safer. Still, we have 3 more games yet to be played in this session and 3 more sessions after that. So a lot more to go. It looks like the next game will start in about 2 minutes.
Let's see. Yeah. Now we were talking before about games we're looking to cover tonight. This is a group mostly in the bottom part of their division. We have another one in A1 we were kind of looking at from the top of the division. It's an interesting kind of play style. You have, on the top, you're really looking at defense. Here, everybody's just trying to fight for some kind of scrap. They'll be more looking like trying to find that way to just reach up to the top.
Yeah, generally.
Top even.
Yeah, generally when you're sitting at the bottom, you're a little bit more willing to fight. And
yeah,
well, I certainly was willing to fight yesterday, to my detriment, but that's because I was near the bottom of the standings there.
Well, I mean, that's exactly where I'm at in B2 right now, and that's why, definitely looking back, some decisions to fight, I probably could have decided on them differently, but, it's this is a game that does have a good luck component to it, so,
Yep,
you take some chances, and sometimes they just do not pan out.
In the long run, it should average out, assuming you're taking the right chances. And of course, in review, sometimes you find it wasn't the best choice, but that just helps you improve for your next set of games. And so we've got a match that's just about to start here. It should begin any second. And Shiromi, the big winner last game, Sichuan will be our dealer. To the right, Stanley will be next. Across the table, Aaron, and then to the left, Dustin.
That's just about the same loadout as last time. Well, I believe Dustin and Aaron switch places. But Shiromi is what started off as dealer last time, starting us off as dealer this time. The Dora this time is the White Dragon. And right now in Shiromi's hand, to start us off, we see some good shapes in really all around his hand. Got a sequence of the Manzu already finished off. Looking on the right side, in Aurasol's hand, we see a sequence of the Sozu already set, as well as some pairs here and there. Looking across to Aaron's hand, some good pairs at the moment. East as well. That looks pretty encouraging. Might try to go all Manzu. We'll see about that. Looking on the right. Sorry, it's the left for Dustin. Good presence of the Pinzu there. Getting all choked up. Looking at these pairs also in Sozu as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Some awkward hands here. We'll see. We already saw a door discarded early from Stanley, so that might not have as much of a play in this set. I kind of feel like Toyman has the advantage here, just with the ability to call. That would be CS Blue, Aaron, across the way. But Stanley on the right is Ishanten, so despite the awkward 4-6-8 Yankan, still has a decent chance to reach Tempai. Would really love to draw the 4-pin before you find Tempai on the 2-mon to get the 2-3-4 Sanshoku.
That's right.
You can see it's actually kind of hard to find the 4-pin right now. And find Tempai first, so we'll just throw the stick in. Richi Pinfu. Waiting on that 2-5-mon. Only 2 left in the wall.
And yeah, they see the 2 and 5 bonds already sitting pretty in Aaron's hand at the moment. Another one of the 2s also sitting nicely in Dustin's hand.
We saw Aaron call the 8, pushing for Honitsu. Oh, and we'll find Tempai here.
Ooh. And now you see one of your weights already called. Gotta be kind of sweating a little bit if you're Aurasol.
Yeah, you're kind of hoping that you're on the same weight as Aaron, so that you don't deal into what could be Chiritsu from his perspective. Of course, we can see it's only the 2,000 point Bakahon. Now, interesting question. If you see the east wind, do you call and switch your weight? I guess we'll find out. And there we go.
And he does.
5-7 is the switch. So now there is a bit of an overlap between the two weights. Interesting, though, we can see 3 of the 8s already called. So
That's right.
there's actually, from Aaron's perspective, only 3 tiles left to win on. And we can see there's only 1, in fact. It's the last 8-mon in the wall. Of course, that 8-mon was discarded by Stanley earlier, so it is safe to the Ricci. However, it's not necessarily safe to this Honitsu anymore, and I'm not sure the other players are willing to push with any Monzu at this point.
Yeah. But in Aaron's case, you don't have a whole lot of tiles you can possibly play, which makes things a little difficult.
Well, the last...
Dustin picking up another pair.
Yeah, that's the last 2-mon drawn, so Stanley's weight is completely dead now. The only player who can win here is Aaron, unless Dustin or Sichuan end up discarding the 2 or 5.
Yeah, and that 2 is looking a little loose out of Shiromi.
But I don't think Shiromi is close enough to fight for this, so I think he'll be fine.
No. Only 5 tiles left. Probably a good idea just let this one slide. And last tile here. Oh, sorry, the last tile is here. Put down the north and get to Tenpai?
Would be just 1 short, yeah, unfortunately. Find your safest out. The 3-so is safe against both. The north comes out anyway. A little...
Shiromi starting this as the lone player, not in Tenpai, paying 3,000 points to the table.
I did not notice Dustin finding Tenpai there, but that was a nice pickup.
Yeah. There you go. Definitely a kind of a switch from the momentum from last game, for sure. We'll see what happens there, but we already have a call from the dealer here, calling those easts for a double east. Already 2 Han in this hand. Also has a Dora from the wall there, you see. 7 pin is the Dora. Some good shapes in Sozu. Definitely thinking, oh, I've got this. Gonna call it right into a win here. And CS Blue calling the Haku as well. Everybody seems to be sensing some speed happening at this table right now. He's got some good shapes as well. Some good sequences in Pinzu. Picking up some pairs in Monzu as well. Looking across, we see pretty decent shapes in Monzu and the Sozu as well. Work to do there. Shiromi. Some pairs and good sequences in Pinzu right now. And Sozu. Definitely that hand is one to be reckoned with. Especially that pickup. That's Tenpai.
Each.
147. Wow, that's fast. And Dustin gave up early on the 678 Sanshoku instead of dropping the guaranteed safe east, but now has a guaranteed safe tile against the Ricci, so 147 though going to be hard to beat.
And all these developments, we're not even at the end of the first row. Well, now Orasol is, but
it should be pointed out, of course, that for Sichuan's hand, 4 and 7 give Tanyao in addition to the Ricci Dora. The 1-so would not. Oh, but just Sumo. This is going to be Mangan minimum. Reach Sumo Tanyao Dora. No Ura-so. Back into winning ways. Back into the Mangans.
Back into the Mangan ways, yeah. Moving well above 30k. The only player to be so at this moment. As we head into East 3. And Shiromi already, I see, making another call of the West.
Well, I think we know where this hand's going.
Yeah.
All those Sozu tiles and another Yakuhai.
Foot still on the gas here. Dora is the 1-so, but look at this dealer hand. You got 2 of those already. Well, along with 2 other pairs at this moment. So that's definitely one to watch. Otherwise, I'm not seeing a whole lot of other interesting shapes that can really be converted with here. Dustin, in the meantime, has some, picked up a pair there to go with another pair, but otherwise that's looking rather difficult. Shiromi, as we already mentioned, very close already. Some serious speed from those hands. Orasol, though, picking up 2 pairs to go with 3. 4.
Yeah, 4
this
pairs
hand is
already.
also picking up speed very quickly. It's going to be another race between Shiromi and Stanley. Once again, there's another pair.
5, okay. Will we see the fabled Chitoi Tanyao? Probably not with the Dora in hand. You probably wait Dora Tanki.
Yeah. Get yourself above 30k pretty easily.
Now that's an important pickup for Aaron. With the East in hand, you can start calling, and we might even see Aaron go Atozuke. Just call anything to find Tempai, assuming that the East will come out later. With 2 door in hand, it's certainly going to be expensive, and does indeed call the 3 Mon. There is a world where this could shift to Toy Toy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and
That
Shinobi
one
actually
comes
finds
out.
Tempai before making Honitsu, so this is actually very cheap now, but you do want to end this dealer hand. You cannot let Aaron win this.
But Aaron's definitely getting close.
It still needs the East. Oh, this will be called into Tempai now. It looks, from the other player's perspectives, it looks like a Tanya outside of that late 9 discard,
Yeah.
but...
Ooh, that is sneaky. Especially when you're waiting on the Dora like that.
And this is double East for Aaron as well, so this is Mongon, 12k.
Yes. If you pick that one up. Otherwise, well, you get that extra Han with the Dora instead.
Well, there's no Yaku without the East, so it has to be the East here.
Oh, that's right.
They're both in the
That's
wall,
right.
too. There's a chance across the table for Shinomi to switch to the Shampoo on the Hatsu. Chooses not to take it, given that he already discarded one. So I guess earlier we should have pointed out there's the opportunity to switch to a Nobitan that was not taken, and unfortunately so, probably would have won by now. But the 1-4-7 is so wide!
Picks up that 2 Han sumo. Oh, sorry.
Double tone sumo, plus the door
Double tone
too.
with 2 Dora. That's going to give you the lead for Aaron now. Over 40,000 points.
Wow.
East 3 continues now. The Dora is West. And looking at this hand, not quite as big as the last hand, I'd say, but still 2 pairs and some rather encouraging shapes. We definitely saw Aaron pull something together despite a difficult opposition last time, so we could definitely do that again here. Looking on the right, Dustin's got a pair of the White Dragons, also a sequence in the Sozu, and some good pairs in the other suits as well, except for the Pinzu. That's notably absent. But those are all across right now in Shiromi's hand. See the 9s as well as a sequence in the Sozu. Good forming up shapes there. That one's going to complete another sequence as well. And over on the left, you see a pair in the Manzu and Pinzu, finishing off a sequence there in the Sozu.
Yeah, across the table, drawing that 1 pin was a really big question. Did you want to push for like a Chanta? Did you want to use the 9 pin as pair? Do you want to use the Dora? And Shinomi ultimately decided that it was more efficient to drop the Dora here and play for a Richi, as opposed to maybe a 7-8-9 Sanshoku or Dora Tonki. There's so many options there. Just went with the efficient one.
Meanwhile, Aaron picking up a 4th pair. Otherwise, I mean, unless you go for Cheetah, well, these pairs are pretty close together.
Yeah.
You can do stuff if those work out. In fact, there's a sequence in the Sozu right there.
So dropping the 9 Mon allows you to make a shift to Tanya later.
Mm-hmm.
You could also make an argument for 9 so I guess, if you're trying to make that Tanya shift. But at least this way allows you to keep your Chitoy options alive.
Aaron picking up the Dora here.
Yeah, keeping the
One's
Dora
already been
there,
discarded.
it definitely signals that Aaron is thinking about Chitoy.
That's true. But
Yeah.
you already see one of the West drawn. We see one of the Wests already in hand. One left in the wall, and now he's dropping it.
Yeah,
Okay.
now that the Anko has been drawn, your Ishanten for a normal hand. It could even turn into 5-6-7 Sanshoku in the future. We see, of course, Dustin moving towards a Honitsu in the Manzu to the right,
Oh, yes.
retaining all those dragons just in case.
I don't know. Do you hang on to the dragons and drop the 1? Or do you focus on getting rid of those first? Well, right now you want to
Yeah,
be
dodge the
safe
reach.
against this dealer reach. 6 pin 9 so is the weight here.
Oh, Dustin
The
just keeps
Shandong
drawing
weight.
worse and worse tiles.
Ooh. Then again, maybe you can make a shape out of that.
Well, this is Tempai for Shidomi. We see a Richi. Be a 6-9. Half of the weight would match. does not take it.
Hmm. Sananko as well, as Flan is pointing out in the chat.
Oh,
Well,
there was a chance for it at one point. Oh, right, with a
right.
five
Yeah, I
mon.
see that.
If you had been a little bit greedy,
Right.
that would have been
Yeah.
fun for sure. And then you would have gotten. Well, actually, so I was interested in Shinomi's discard folding on the 9-pin. If you drop the 8-mon for your Tempai, was probably concerned with the fact that the Riichi tile was the 5, and the 8 is Suji to the Riichi tile. Sometimes that makes it a little bit more dangerous. For that reason, maybe did not want to push it. I think against a dealer reach, I might have still considered fighting, but
He's in a good position right now.
yeah, you don't want to drop below 30k, so I can certainly understand a fold.
Yeah, just live to fight another day. Take another shot at the lead on your next dealer turn, perhaps. As we let this one wind down. 9-so here, another horrible draw by Dustin.
Who's
Definitely a good read there.
Yeah, far enough away from Tempai to just find the safest tile. And, oh, nice! Shinobi finds their way back to Tempai right at the very end. So we'll pick up 1,500 there. Aaron will net 500 after throwing the Riichi stick in, but we'll go again as dealer.
Here we go. See two players kind of separating themselves from the pack. As East 3 continues, the Dora is 7-pin, and one of those picked up immediately by the dealer. That doesn't really fit too well with this hand, but anything can happen early on. We see a pair in the Sozu and some interesting shapes. One of each dragon. That looks nice, but isn't always the easiest to work around. Dustin, meanwhile, lots of Pinzu I'm seeing right now. I got a sequence already locked in, as well as a couple pairs. And across we see a disconnection, unfortunately, from Shiromi. We'll see if they can come back quickly here. Otherwise, that'll be just dropping every tile they pick up until they come back. That 8's not a huge loss, though, especially with that sequence in the Sozu already locked in, unless you wanted to go for an early Ipeco. It looks like they're back now.
Sweet.
Good.
Yeah, disconnection's one of the unfortunate things about playing online, but the players do their best to work around that. And I don't know if we went over Stanley's hand. Looks kind of awkward with two pairs and then two Penchant shapes. The only good shape is the 6-7 in the Sozu.
Right.
But at least you can accept the Dora.
I was about to say, good Dora acceptance potential here.
Oh, and now you've paired the Chun, so there's some options.
I drop the South.
Oh, doesn't call the Chun. Interesting. Now, Aaron had picked up the Hatsu pair after the discarded Green Dragon from Sichuan across the table. So wasn't able to call then. I'm 100% sure would call the next one should have come out. The awkward thing for Aaron is this 7-pin. It doesn't really have a home in this hand. You've got all the shapes you need elsewhere. The 6-7-8 is one. The 2-3 pin is one. The 2-3-3 So shape is one. The North pair, and then the Hatsu pair. Yeah. They all work well, but hanging on to it, because if you can draw around that 7-pin, then you can discard one of your pairs, perhaps the Hatsu pair, and make something like a Pinfu with that Dora inclusion.
Good thinking ahead there, for sure. And calling a pawn on the 3-so.
Yeah, so this is not the first time we've seen this. CS Blue shows the willingness to go Atozuke, waiting for an honor tile. In this case, that would be the final Green Dragon.
Jeremy calling Riichi. That's for a 7 and the 6-so?
4 and 7, yeah.
Yeah, 4 and 7, that's right.
So Riichi Pinfu had to discard Dora for that Riichi, so the value of the hand definitely decreased. I wonder if there's some merit to not accepting Tempai, just dropping the 8-pin and attempting to build a 7-8-9 Sanshoku. Instead took the Riichi, and unfortunately will deal into Ippatsu as Dustin fought back. Riichi Ippatsu Dora 5,200.
But with all that in the pot, that's going to be 8,800 for Dustin.
Yeah, the Kanchan beats Yanmen. That's not... Well, it happens more often than you'd expect.
Well, how's this for Poetic Justice? Dustin moving above 30k while Shiromi sinks below it. As we head into East 4, with 4-pin being Dora. And we're seeing a sequence already in this hand for the Pinzu, as well as a couple pairs here and there. Actually, 4 if you count the sequence as well. On Shiromi's hand, looking to bounce back from that loss, we're seeing a few pairs and a sequence already completed. Orasol, meanwhile, with a sequence, well, not quite. Oh, there's one, Pinzu. And some good shapes in the Sozu that are almost coming together there. And Aaron, meanwhile, already calling the tune early on, has a good sequence in the Manzu as well.
Yeah, we saw no. I believe the Haku pair was already in hand for Stanley. Did not call the first white dragon that was discarded. So that's, I think, the second time now that we've seen it. There might be a pattern here to passing the first one. It makes a little bit of sense here because you want to try to build 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku or the Itsu in the Sozu. In the meantime, though, Dustin just calling for Tanyao.
Dustin's getting on a roll here. Definitely wants to keep riding that. Looking for the 8 in Pinzu or Sozu.
We see 3 left in the wall. Not bad for a Shampom.
Yeah. Only seeing one of them visible right now in that called set from Shiromi.
Good switch here. Probably not worth it, though.
Yeah.
Would just be the 6 pin. I guess an interesting question is, if you draw the Dora 4 pin, do you switch to the 3, 6, 9 weight where only the 3 and the 6 win? Or do you stick with your Shampon?
Well,
doesn't matter.
I was starting to think about that, but there's a quick and easy Tanyao for Dustin, adding another little jab to his Shiromi, taking 1,500 more points. Moving right along as East 4 continues. Dustin now with 1 so for the Dora, and that's 1 in hand right now already. The rest of this hand is looking a little iffy. You do have a sequence in Manzu, but that's, well, there's a sequence in Pinzu as well. This hand's looking better every second. So anyway, looking right along though, Shiromi's got 2 Dora and a sequence in the Sozu, and some good pairs there as well. So definitely has a shot with this one to convert on some pretty good points to come back. Orasol, meanwhile, has a pair in the Pinzu and some good sequences already set up in Sozu. Another definite contender in this hand. And Aaron, also a contender. Look at this. Another good couple of sequences. 3, depending on how you count them, sequences already in this hand. As Dustin picks up an Anko. So, wow. This is anyone's hand, and I think it's going to go pretty quick here.
Yeah, Shunten for Dustin. We saw Orasol, Stanley across the table, call this out. That is not Yakuhai. So that's a clear indicator that this is going to be a push for Honitsu.
There we go.
That is in the Dora suit, so there's a little bit of potential value there.
Hoping you pick up some of those Doras. You don't see any of them out, but little do you know, they're already pretty well locked in these hands. Well, except for Dustin. It looks like that one might come out pretty soon.
Or Dustin might choose to wait on that for Dora Tonki, should this Ipeco complete. Well, now that you've drawn a connector to the 7 pin, that Dora's going to come out. Yeah. Perhaps Dustin, recognizing that the player across was collecting Sozu tiles and thought, the 3 so weight might not be as good as I want it to be, so I'll start to discard from that suit. And it finds Tenpai, which weight do you want? The Kanchan Ipeco weight, or do you want to pick a Yamen? Chooses a Yamen here. This is no Yaku right now. Of course, there's Itsu upgrades in the Pinzu if you draw the 5 pin or the 9 pin. So seeking out a little bit more value here. Oh, but we might just see a chase here after this reach. Oh!
Dropping in here. Oh, a chase, but then a pickup. You couldn't have asked for a better reachy situation here, I don't think.
This is the big weight too.
Look at that. Look at all those tiles that just lit up now.
Yep, 369. On the left, we have 369,258. But the 9 comes out, and
I'll go for Dustin. Reaching Pinfu.
That will complete the Itsu. Does an Uda that doesn't matter.
Wow.
Incredible.
Now Dustin takes the lead. 46,000 points. As he moves on here, East 4 continues. We are looking now at the Dora 9 pin. We already see, wow, an incredible opening hand Already got 2 sequences locked in and some pairs. I'm not even worried about the Manzu at this point. I mean, that's easy to drop or perhaps turn into something. An incredible start. Shiromi, meanwhile, has a pretty good Ipeko chance with that 789 Sozu. Also picking up some good sequences in Pinzu. Another good contender. Also across the same story. Good contender here with the 789 Pinzu. A pair and some good shapes in Manzu. And on the left, a couple, 4 pairs here.
Ooh.
And another really just good, everybody's really getting quick hands here.
Yeah, a lot of potential in these hands.
Especially with this other pair pickup now from the dealer.
Yeah.
But that's make things a little bit more complicated, I'd say.
It's a little bit harder for the faster hands at this table to use the Dora. I guess Toyman has one in hand. That would be Stanley across the table. And is a couple tiles away from Tenpai there. But Dustin probably just going to aim for a Tanyao type hand. Doesn't necessarily need to open up for cheap value here, as there is some real value lurking around these tiles if you stay close. Perhaps a Dianpeko even. And the hand to the right also a couple of tiles away. Oh, here's a nice draw. So
Aaron picking up a good draw, yes. And another good draw from the dealer as well.
Yeah, it's your choice of floaters here. Dustin chooses to retain the 7 pin as a floater and the 4 mana as a floater. And immediately rewarded with a 5 draw. So this is Riichi, Tanyao, Pinfu, Ipeko, already Mangan, with the potential to be even bigger. 3/6 is the weight. We've seen a lot of those recently.
We haven't seen much from the Uradora tonight.
No, you're right. The one that we saw in the last hand didn't even matter.
Right. Definitely turned to something here.
Lots of tiles at the wall. For a 3/6, there's 5.
Wide open.
Oh, but Stanley gets Ishanten across the way. Would love to draw the 3 pin for Riichi, Pinfu, Dora 1 with a 3-sided weight. And this is technically Tenpai for Aaron now. We've got Chitoy.
So which one do you want to wait on?
Decides the 9 is a little bit safer of a discard, probably.
Yes. Depending on the Forso, which we only see 1 left in the wall there. Another Tenpai, though, from Aura. Everything's coming together at once. That'll be for the 3 pin.
Yeah, drew the more likely side, and unfortunately will deal in as a result. But this dealer hand is going to be massive, and we'll check the Ura, see if there's any bonuses. Ura 2, there it is! All right, that's a Hanemon.
Blessing. Hanemon, 18,000 points. Unfortunately, that's what Aura Soul's got to go below 0 on.
Well,
difficult to see, but look at this lead now from Dustin, 65,600.
This is going to make up for the last game for sure.
Indeed. This is going to get you out of last and then some. This is the hand you dream of. All right, let's look at these hands now. Dora is the green dragon, and I'm not seeing that in this hand, but we do see a sequence in the Sozu at this moment, as well as some pairs here and there. The Manzu's looking good in Shiromi's hand right now, with a sequence already set, and a couple pairs to go with it. That 8 pickup is going to finish off another sequence in the hand as well. Aura Soul here, with a couple of pairs, actually 3, count them 3, and some good shapes there to push that one along, and Aaron with a sequence in the Pinzu, and actually another sequence in the Sozu as well, with a pair in the Manzu. So again, I'm kind of seeing people more or less just about on pace with each other. Not as fast as we were going last time, but with the right tiles, that could all change very quickly.
Yeah, right after you left Dustin's hand, managed to pick up the East pair, so we could see another double tone hand. And lots of shapes forming here. In fact, already Ishanten. And if you can draw the 5/8, then you've got this beautiful Shampoo weight on the East and West. But instead, keeps drawing more pairs. Oh.
Interesting. Oh.
Oh, the West was gone. The West is gone. There's 2 cut already. Okay, I mean that is a little awkward because you drop back a little bit, but is rewarded with the 3-pin draw, so the value is still here. And you can still call the East and use the 7 so as your pair. So a lot of options here for Dustin. And, oh, can anybody fight this? The Hatsu discard. Oh, go ahead.
Sichuan as a Anko of the... I think that's Ishan 10 now.
Yes, yeah.
Just about, yeah.
Would hope to draw around...
progress there.
You're kind of floating the 4, so 4 mon or 7 mon. But here we go. Tempai for Dustin. We'll discard the 7. So, and wait on the 2-5. Just Ricci only, but... I mean, at the rate Dustin's been going, do you really want to fight against him? Oh, and that's Tempai to the left. Can actually discard the 2 for the beautiful 1-4-7 weight. But that would deal in, and instead chooses to drop a safe tile. Oh, a safer tile. A tile that doesn't deal in, at least. We'll say that.
Sumo.
But picks up the sumo. Dustin continues on a roll here.
Well, finds
Ricci's sumo with another Uradora.
Yeah. 72,000. We've seen this before from Dustin. Let's see if he can go on a massive run again.
Mm-hmm. And again, this is only just before the half, so anything can happen here still.
That's right, we're East 4.
Yeah, I mean, Shiromi had a great lead, which was almost dismantled by the end. But the Dora is 5-pin here in this East 4 as we continue. And one of those is already in Dustin's hand at the moment, with a good sequences already set in Manzu, and some good shapes to go as well. Oh, there's a sequence in Pinzu already set. Shiromi as a pair in the Hatsu, as well as in Pinzu, and some other encouraging shapes there. That's another pair pickup as well. And Stanley across the table has a good sequence already set in Sozu. Otherwise, this hand's got a little bit of work to be done here. That 8 will help. Over on the left, a lot of good Sozu shapes I'm seeing here. Ipeiko chance for sure. You have a pair and some other good shapes in the other suits as well.
Dustin keeps drawing good tiles, is already Ishanten again with a Dora in hand, and potentially can incorporate a second one. Could also... It will have a good weight no matter what gets drawn.
Wide open Ishanten. Dare I say a dream Ishanten.
Yeah, you would absolutely love to see a 5-pin pickup here if you're Dustin. I mean, why not use 2 Dora in your Ricci Pinfu hand?
Yeah. Make it even better.
Aaron on the left, not far behind, though. Does need to do a little bit of maneuvering there. Has too many pairs, so we'll need to pare that down a bit.
Good pickup for Stanley across.
Here's your choice. Pinfu, or do you wait for the Dora acceptance? Dobitan. Drop 8-pin or 4 mon. Thinking. Chooses the Pinfu route.
8-pin.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this gives the most guaranteed Yaku here. Ricci Pinfu Dora 1. A 1-4 weight doesn't look bad because this 2-3-4-4 shape, the tile you're expecting to win on is the 1. And you have 0 of those in your own hand. There's 1 discarded. If you had the 1-1-2-3 shape waiting on the 4, that'd be probably a little bit harder because other players are more likely to retain the 4 mon in hand. And you have 2 of the 1 mon in your own hand. And here comes out Stanley will deal in once again.
Too, with that 1 mon coming out just before the Ricci call, it's going to look a whole lot safer.
Oh, and finds another Ura.
Ooh. And unfortunately, that's Stanley taking that little bit of bait there and dropping further down. But Dustin surging ever higher. The Dora is now 9 so, and we see one of those in this hand, though it's not really quite incorporated in there.
It just gets rid of it.
It gets rid of it. Why not?
I can build a hand without it.
Yeah. You certainly don't need the points right now.
Right?
Meanwhile, in Sichuan's hand, we see a couple pairs there in the south and the west, also in the 7-pin. That 4 pickup is going to help create other shapes. So you've got pairs. Not seeing too much else happening here, but we'll see what happens later on. Stanley, meanwhile, has a sequence in the Pinzu forming up. An Ipeco chance there for sure. And on the left, we see a good sequence already in Manzu to go with the Norths that were called early on. And you see a Dora there as well, part of a 7-8-9 sequence. But we're already Tenpai there. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, Aaron had
That'll be
the quick call of the pay and a fast Tempai on the 2-pin. Was just Northwind Dora 1. So finally ends the reign of terror for this round.
All good things must come to an end, and if I'm Dustin, that's probably the way I'd want to have ended it. Other than someone else maybe taking the Roan instead, but you know,
Right.
that's not a lot of points. You won't miss those.
Yeah, Aaron probably not too upset about. Oh, probably like I'm at 41,000 and I'm not even close to first. I'm in second by 40,000.
There you go.
You'd have to double my score to catch up. Oh, it looks like we got that freeze. So I'll do a quick refresh here.
It's halftime.
Right.
Halftime refresh.
Yeah, we're just starting South 1 now.
Yes. This has been going on quite a little while here. But we are continuing. 6-0 is the Dora this time. Not seeing that in this hand, but we do see some other good shapes in the Manzu right now, as well as a few pairs here and there. A good presence of the Manzu on Stanley's hand right now, with a couple pairs. 3 pairs. And some good shapes forming up in the other suits as well. We do see the Dora in Aaron's hand right now, with that Anko of the 4-pin already set. Some other pairs to go along with it. Another pair of the 8 so just picked up.
Yeah, that's getting a little exciting.
Definitely one to get back to quickly here. Dustin, meanwhile, has 2 pairs, actually 4 pairs right now. Ipeco shot either way you go on that 1-so, 4-so. That's interesting. You got a Dora in the 6-so there, so definitely getting the 5 would help a lot there.
Yeah, we can see Dustin really wants to be able to use this Dora in some fashion and chooses to not discard it in favor of the more efficient 3-3-5 shape, and it gets rewarded by just moving into a Kanton and then filling it immediately. So Riichi Pinju will have to end up discarding the Dora here, but that's okay. Again, value not a concern here. Just move the game along.
Yeah. I have a feeling this reign of terror may not be over yet.
Yeah. Certainly puts pressure on the rest of the table. With such a wide spread in the scores, your incentives change a little bit here. As dealer, you're really just trying to make it over 30,000 first and give yourself a positive score. If you're Stanley, you're just trying to win anything. And for Aaron, you're just trying to maintain your second place. It's maybe a little bit too much to ask to try to aim for first here, but
still above 40K, that is a strong second place.
Right. And so
I would be happy with that.
Your goal here is probably just, sure, Dustin, you can have this hand. If I end up paying 1,000 points and no 10 payments, so be it. I'm not going to deal into Mongon or worse.
Absolutely.
Now that you can see 2 of the Dora, you're probably less concerned about what the value is going to be here, but I mean, why risk it at this point? Stanley draws the winning tile, but has Chitoy outs, so doesn't have to discard it here. And it's a rough spot because when you're this far back, you want to be pushing. You want to score some points and minimize the damage, but a lot of times that will just lead to you dealing in as a result. But Stanley playing this well, not like fighting for Tenpai, but not fighting too hard.
Aaron's reading this weight pretty well, picking up the 6-pin just now, along with that 9-pin.
Yeah, has found other tiles to discard. That wouldn't be a call for Tenpai. This is not Tenpai either, so we'll just give it up.
Just folding here at the end of the hand.
Then yeah, nice pickup.
3,000 more points to Dustin.
Well, that was a shorter dealership.
Yeah. Sad to see it, especially when you're trying to make some waves at this stage of the game to at least get your head back above 30k. But meanwhile, Stanley looking to get their head back above water.
You know,
28,000 points in the hole. But starting this dealership now, definitely, this is a difficult one.
I
What were you about to
guarantee you
say?
the hesitation was counting the Kokushi tiles.
Yes,
Like,
because that's how you get out of this.
right? There were 8 in a pair, I believe.
Yeah. I don't know. In this, I would have gone for it, I feel like. But
You
I don't
could,
know. You're a dealer, so you probably don't want to waste this dealer shot on
right,
something
right. That's
Hail
the
Mary.
worst part. I mean, you could
Yeah.
have started with the 2-pin and floated the thought of just forcing a Honitsu, because this hand, okay, let's be honest, it's terrible. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Honitsu might be your best bet. At least scare the other players away. You know, if you're showing Honitsu as dealer, that's pretty expensive.
I'm thinking they might be shifting gears and going for that now with that one mon call.
Yeah, and the nice thing is you don't have to force it either. You can work your way around. With the 9 mon pickup, now you might start to force it. Still retaining the 2-pin, as you can find Tempai sooner rather than later if you retain the 2 pins.
Just need to get something here.
Yeah, to the right, this looks
Meanwhile,
like a
Aaron-
fairly standard Ricci PvP type hand. Across the table is also the same. Might not be able to find the PvP though. It does have 2 Dora, so Ricci Dora 2 is totally fine. And then to the left, hand is a little awkward. A lot of pairs, and you've got 4 now.
Probably looking to capitalize on those pairs at this point.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We saw the draw of the 6-pin Anko to the right from Aaron, so it doesn't have to be PvP anymore. It could just be a Ricci. A low value Ricci, but progress nonetheless. And Stanley chooses to drop the 2-pin after drawing the 5 so that signals to me that he really is committing to the Honitsu here.
Yeah, there you go.
Unfortunately,
Looks like they get
hasn't.
the 6.
Yeah. Unfortunately, hasn't seen the June yet. All the other dragons have come out.
Yeah. They're still hiding in the wall somewhere. As you pick up the 3rd 2-pin.
Each.
All right, we will see a Ricci. This is a nice 3-sided weight on Dora. So 6 mon, 6-pin, and the Dora 9-pin. But just then, the Dora got drawn by Dustin across the table, and that is a hand worth pushing if you're willing to do so.
Right.
It has the value, at least, to push.
Don't.
There's the 6-pin. Gonna deal in there with Ricci Uradora 1. Now the Uradora is just coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, we
As
called it
Aaron picks
out.
up some more points and just adding a little bit more pain to the hand of Stanley here, unfortunately.
We woke up the Uda from its hibernation, its slumber.
It hurt us. All right, we're moving on to South 3 now. The Dora is 1 so with a hand that could, well, it doesn't quite fit in this hand, but we are seeing a sequence in the 1, 2, 3. A good pair. The 6-pin as well, 4 so, and also the Chun. Justin, meanwhile, we're seeing a couple pairs there already, and some encouraging looking shapes. I'm seeing a more organized hand across the table, though, especially picking up that 3-pin to finish off a sequence there. You have another sequence in Sozu, and also a pair of the Pinzu. And over on the left, for Stanley, we have a couple of pairs there already. Actually, 3 pairs now. And, I'm seeing... Well, now I'm counting the orphans.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Is he gonna... That's even more of a long shot, but I'm counting 7 right now.
I mean, it's South 3.
Yeah, it's kind of do or die time.
Even if you win it, unless you directly hit someone, specifically this one here, you're not looking great. Okay, maybe yeah, just switch to Chitoi here.
Oh, okay.
You've got Dora too.
That's understandable.
Could also be a Toy Toy as well. It does not call the 2 mon, so... Oh, and I missed that the 2 Dora had been cut by Aaron earlier. So, yeah, Toy Toy not an option, but Chitoi Dora 2 is totally fine. That's the fast route to Hanemon. Ricci, Tsumo, Chitoi, Dora 2. You could even make Baimon out of that if you had some Ura. with the way that Uda have been coming out lately.
Yeah, that seems to be the trend. They don't clam up when you need them.
Yeah. The fact that Stanley was going for that Chitoy slash Kokshi means that Aaron's tunes are slow to come out. You would have expected to see it a little bit sooner. And it's given the other players some time to build a hand. In fact, to the right, Dustin is Ishanten already, as is Shinumi across the way.
But yeah, Sichuan is getting close to an Ipeco now. But might go for the Chitoy.
Ooh, this is risking Fruity 10 here. The 4-pin was already discarded, and you might end up on a 4-7 wait. Dustin finally finds the tile that he's looking for. Can reach you with a 3-sided, but just chooses to Dama here.
Yeah. Don't need the points. Might as well sneakily push this thing to the end, so you don't wake up from this stream and have no points left.
Well, it'd be very hard to lose all 84,200, but
it would have to turn into a flat-out nightmare. But
big draw by Sichuan. You find the 7-pin. No Fruity 10 here. It's a 5-8 wait. Cannot see all the 8s in Dustin's hand, but you don't want the 8 anyway. You want the 5.
That 5 is a little bit tightened up in Stanley's hand right now. I don't see him pushing with
Oh
that,
no!
though.
So Shinumi is disconnected. That was the delay, I believe. It's just probably internet issues.
Oh, I see that now, yeah.
And yeah, I was wondering because it was Ricci. You have to discard it. There shouldn't have been any delay. Fortunately, it doesn't look like anyone is going to deal in, but you can't win if you're disconnected. Okay, good.
Yeah, you cannot call Roan or Sumo when you've disconnected. I learned this the hard way.
It is an extremely painful way to lose your hand. Also, should be noted that our dealer is Tenpai, but is Mochi Mochi on the tune with Stanley on the left. And so, unless Stanley folds in an awkward way, which probably won't happen. Stanley is Ishanten here.
Sumo.
And there
Picks
it
up
is.
the 8, though, and that'll be it. For Sichuan, Ricci, Sumo, Pingfu, Tanyao. The Uradora are clamming up now, but that's 6,200 points to take us into all last.
Yeah, you would have loved Uda there, but this is not bad either. You've got a shot at 30,000.
Absolutely. And that'll start now with Dustin once again getting leadership here. Dealership here. Definitely has leadership as well.
True.
1 pin is the Dora. And we see some sequences already set for the Sozu and some other good encouraging shapes. Got a few pairs set as well the hand on the right for Sichuan. The 1, 4, and 9 of Manzu. Cross, we're seeing some honors coming into that hand.
Yeah, I have to say, I have to like jump in here. For the past 3 or 4 hands, Stanley has had like the worst high pies in the world. Every hand has been saying, go for Kokshi, which he wants, but you'd almost rather just make a normal hand and win some points. And so it looks like it's another Kokshi push again. Or maybe we're turning into Chitoy again.
I don't know, dropping the whites out. Yeah, it's looking like Chitoy now. Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so awkward.
Oh, sorry, Honitsu. Well, no, it could be Chin. It could be either way. Could be both, for all we know.
I suspect Chitoy wants to wait for the last Dora, probably.
But let's look at this hand with Aaron now.
Yeah.
2 Ankos already set. I was going to call it Pon.
That's Tenpai.
Definitely looking to, Tenpai now, looking to secure that second place, and that's definitely the hand to do it with. Waiting on the 7 So, which was just picked up by Sichuan.
Who has a bunch of pairs, so it might not come out just yet. And there's the call made. So Toy Toy is now an option.
Toy an option, yeah. Now waiting on the 6 So.
Yep, it's a very wide wait here because the 6 is next to that Anko. So not only do you have the Tonki on the 6, but you also have the 4 and 7. But the 6 So would give you the Toy Toy.
Right.
Tanyao, Toy Toy. It's not bad.
Yeah, definitely Well, that'll get you just a very, very strong second place, which is honestly the best outcome you can hope for in this
Each.
situation.
Absolutely. And even if you just end
As
up
the
on
dealer
Tanyang.
calls Ricci.
Oh, Dustin got there. Okay, it's a 6-9 Ricci Pinfu.
Hmm,
6-9
nice.
pin. Oh, but there's the 7.
There's the 7, and that'll bring an end to this one. Tanya Nomi, but a strong second once again. Sadly, another 1,000 points lost from Stanley here. But the big winner tonight, Dustin, with 66 points. That's gonna definitely, that cuts your point debt just about in half.
Absolutely.
So we're definitely gonna see him surge here in just a moment when the leaderboard updates. Um, Aaron, meanwhile, taking home a very respectable 18 points. Sichuan losing 7 points, but that's just a small dent to a pretty big win in game 1.
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, with a rally like that, Stanley will be walking out here losing 78 points with that negative 33,000, sadly. And yep, the scores have updated. Stanley will be taking Dustin's place there in 16th, but Dustin has launched himself out of the demotion zone with that win.
Absolutely. Aaron also cannot complain. I think Aaron actually made more progress in the leaderboard than Dustin did with the 2 second place finishes. And yeah, it was a bit of unluckiness for Stanley. I know I am no stranger to big losses. In my last set of Hanchan, in 4 games, I lost 138.8 or 133.8 points. So it is definitely doable. But I'm not that worried. There's plenty of season left. There's lots of opportunity to return. So same for Stanley. There's still chances in the future.
Absolutely. And I mean, you look at what Dustin did tonight, and definitely anything is possible, I would say.
Absolutely. I mean, plus 80, plus 60, but earning 80,000 points. And it wasn't with a big Yakuman. It wasn't, anything like that. It was just consistently good hands and going on a long streak. So definitely possible that anybody could make it. Well, I'm looking at the schedule for the evening, and we have a game that's about to start in approximately 4 minutes. So perhaps we'll take a quick break and set up for that. It will be an A1 matchup between Luce, Max, Steve, and Huang. And it will be, now 3 minutes away. So we'll take a quick break and come back to watch that one.
See you in just a bit. And welcome back to another hot summer night here in the ARML. I am Blaine Singletary and joined, of course, by Nathaniel. Wow, what a hot match we just went through back
Absolutely.
there in A2 division. Now
Absolutely.
we're moving to A1, as we were teasing before. Some pretty big names here, and it's all people towards the top of the A1 division. I think they were making up the top spot. Things have kind of shuffled around a little bit there, but definitely some top players in the league you're about to see right now.
I think we've got 3 separate A1 matches that are going to be played tonight, 3 different A1 groups. 2 are going concurrently, and then one's going to be starting a little bit later in the evening, about I think within the next hour or so. But Luce, Max, Steve, all in the top 5 here, pretty close to each other as well. This will be game 4 of their 4 hunch on this session, and not that far behind either. Well, in the negatives, of course, but in the battle for demotion, there's a bit of a gap there between Huang and Eric in the 13th spot. So definitely making up some ground, given some early misfortune with scheduling. But yeah, I'm really excited to watch some of these players as the battle for first place begins here, or continues rather.
Yeah, we are just getting to the halfway point in this season as the gong goes off here, and we begin East 1 with Adora as 6 Mon. We see one of those in the dealer's hand to start with.
Cool.
That is Luce starting us off. She's got a good sequence already. Oh, wow. Actually, that's just about Ishan 10. Yeah, that is Ishan 10. Already set. Let's move right along here then. Light Pink Yoshi, also known as Max. He's got a good couple of shapes here right now. That's looking a little clunky. He's going to call to push that along. I'm thinking he's going to go for Chanta here.
Yeah, Chanta, Junchan, Sanchoku, one of those, or maybe a combination.
Oh, yeah, could be. But we have an Anko of the Chun already off in across the table here. That is Steve. Yes, that is Steve's hand. He just calls a 6, 7, 8 Manzu, and can definitely call the rest of the way here with that Yaku locked in. And we have Hong with a good presence of the Pinzu already set. Good shapes elsewhere in this hand as well, picking up a pair of the 5-so there.
Yeah, despite the great start, Luce has yet to find Tenpai, and instead it's Steve who is Ishan 10 now with a headless shape. It's funny, on the right, Max drew the 6-so, instantly discarded. It knows exactly what he's looking for here, and that's not the 6-so, it's the 9-so. Unfortunately, 3 of those have been discarded, so that shape's looking a little bit weaker now.
Just trying to find the shapes that'll work here. And you want him to be on the edge, of course, if you're going to go for this Chanta.
Yeah, upgrade in shape for Luce here, so now Tenpai is a little bit easier to find. There's a wide number of tiles that will get you there. Of course, Ishan 10 on the left now for Huang. And there's Tenpai for Steve. So we've got all the hands kind of getting Tenpai around the same time, or at least Ishan 10.
There's Ricci from the dealer. Now we're looking for the 9-so, 6-so.
Yeah, a little bit weak. There's only 4, or there's already 4 discarded, but none in hand, which means there's 4 still left in the wall. You're actually maybe a little bit surprised that no one else has a 6-so at least.
I'm thinking with the 3 9-so already dropped, it's looking safe.
Yeah, at least pretty apparent that people don't seem to be needing those. And there's
another
a chase.
Ricci looking for the 2. Oh, sorry.
Well, that will deal into the Toyman, yeah. This hand that had been Tenpai all this while ago remained Tenpai. Just a Ricci stick donation from Gimmick there.
Absolutely. As we move straight into East 2. Adora is 1 pin, and looking at this hand, another quick one for Max here. Ipeko chance with the Pinzu. Some other good shapes in the other suits as well.
Already Ishan 10.
Yeah, already Ishan 10 for the dealer once again. Moving right along to Steve, we see a sequence already in the Manzu. Also the Sozu as well. That's fact, it's 2, 3, 4. I think that's also Ishan 10.
It is? Yeah, everyone's getting blessed by the high pies here. Speaking of Ishan 10, so is Toyman. And Huang there can call the West for Tenpai.
Ishan 10. Oh, no, wait. That Is that?
Yeah, it is Ishan 10.
Oh, wow.
And then to the left, there's the ability to call the Hatsu here and use the door. That hand's probably the slowest at the table. And here we see Tenpai across the table. Of course, dealer had found Tenpai a little bit earlier, chose not to declare the Richi,
1
and now does do so after the
Oh,
call was
they do it.
made. So going to put a little bit of pressure on the board here. 4-7 pin is the weight here for Richi, Pinfu, Tanyao.
Gonna say Peiko, but not quite.
Yeah, not quite. Sanshoko isn't quite there either. Across the table, let's wait on just the 4 pin. It's very awkward, but Hung doesn't have, like, I mean, this is the 1-2-2 that's safe, but do you really want to give up Tenpai here?
Hmm.
Hung, he tends to play a little bit more aggressively than other players might, and so it's not a surprise to see him continue to push this hand, even though the weight's not great.
Especially when you're the one kind of lagging behind the others here.
Right, it might be a read that the Sumo Giri reach implies that it's a bad weight, but the weight's, it's not amazing, but it's not terrible for Max, that is.
Yes. All a matter of where that last 4 pin is hiding in these last 22 tiles.
Oh, that's a door draw, and what the 1-4 suit is not safe. Switches it out with a 5.
There you go.
Sumo.
Oh, there's the Sumo. Yeah, 4 tiles left in the walls. Pretty good Sumo chances as we get further to the end.
And there you go. 8,800 points to give Light Pink Yoshi here, Max, a considerable lead to start us off.
Yeah, but I'm not feeling comfortable with this lead. In A1, anyone
not
could put
quite.
together a Mongon.
That's true. I mean, we are seeing just going from A2 to A1, just kind of this difference in aggression and speed of play.
How about the
for
speed
sure.
of play here? I mean, the discards are coming out so quickly. Everyone has a very good idea of what they're going to do with their hands. And it's Max here who has a lot of Sozu tiles, but doesn't necessarily want to commit to the Honitsu here because the other shapes are just so good. You've got the 5-6 Yamen in the Manzu and the 7-8 Yamen in the Pinzu. So
I mean,
probably
that's the Sanshoku potential.
yeah, there's a chance for that. And outside of that, you could just make Richi Pinfu. That's totally fine. To the right, we've got a fairly standard hand. It's not amazing here. The 5-7, 7-8 pin shape's a little bit awkward, as well as the double pairs in the lower Manzu. Might even call for Tanya, but chooses to pass it up and play the shapes instead. Across the table, there is a nice Tanya chance, I guess. If you can grab the 7 pin, and now that you've upgraded to be able to accept the 5 pin and the 7 pin, that's one of your weaker shapes. The 3-5 so shape being the other weak one. And then to the left, we've got, well, Richi Pinfu potential if you get the 7.
1
But there's 2 door in that hand, so I think you take the Richi regardless of what your end weight ended up being.
Max, meanwhile, making more progress
Gee.
here in this hand.
Well, speaking of progress, 2 calls, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
playing as Tenpai.
That changes the complexion very quickly.
This is just Tanya Door 1. Could switch the way to Shampon here, but... well... maybe?
Decisions.
No, doesn't choose to do so.
Okay.
Katagi there is interesting. When you discard a tile from your hand, it gives away some information to your opponents. But what that information is, well, not 100% sure yet. Well, this is a great pickup. Just grab another Dora.
Ooh. There you go.
So it switches to just
That's
the
gonna-
6 here. Of course, the 9 will light up, but only the 6 will win the hand.
That's right. As we can see, 2 of the 6s are in hands. The other one's the door indicator tile. Only 1 6 left in the wall.
Now, had Gimmick gone the other way and discarded the 3 so instead, or rather the 8 so, be able to shift. Oh no, that's the worst possible draw.
Oh,
Now you're Fruity 10, so you have to sumo the 6.
it's the Otozuke risk there.
You could draw out of this though, and just
Coming out of Tenpai, I think that's the right call here.
trying to find another route to being able to win this hand.
You don't have a lot of time left, though.
In the
1
meantime, Steve finds Tenpai for Itsu. 369 is the weight, but 9 mon will give you Richi, Pinfu, Itsu, a Mangan.
Oh, 2 9s already discarded, though. The other two, though?
Oh,
Oh,
well,
one's picked up.
Max, though, drops
Good
the
read
safe.
there by
Yeah.
Max. Yeah.
He already had a couple pairs, so didn't really need the Norths anyway. Probably better to just give this up. You can't see any of the Dora, so there's a chance
No.
that Steve's got a massive hand, and he does.
This is true.
So looks like we'll find Ryukyoku safely. Steve, the only player Tenpai here, will grab 1,000 from the rest of the players, and we'll move to East 3.
Some good momentum heading into this dealer turn. The Dora is one so here in East 3. Look at this hand. Again, a great one out the bat. That's, well, now it's,
Yanshan.
it's not
No,
quite.
Ishanten now. We just need a pair.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. 2 sequences and an Anko. Wow. Incredible.
Oh, Tenpai, okay.
And Tenpai. Wow.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Does not choose to take it because you can get upgraded weight and Tanyao as well.
And it's only the 3rd discard. Come on.
Oh, would have been Ibatsumo if you waited on the 9 pin, but obviously you wouldn't be able to tell.
Man.
So I think if the Hatsu comes out, if Green Dragon comes out, Steve will chase reach, Tsumogiri reach. Might even just reach this though. 3/6 mon isn't amazing, but it's Tanyao.
There we go. Yeah, let's.
Yeah,
didn't,
none of
that-
the other hands mattered.
I know.
Once we saw
Yeah,
what the
that's-
dealer was doing.
I'm not seeing a huge jump there from any other. I mean, these hands do look all right,
Yeah.
but not this good.
So this is what happens a lot of times when you take a Ricci like this with 3 tiles in hand that are extremely usable. All of a sudden, the other players just draw all your winning tiles, and you are dead in the water.
Exactly.
There are no tiles left in the wall. They are all in hand. And as long as everyone defends safely, you will not ever get the chance to win. And in fact, if someone is able to use those tiles to build their own hand, the only opportunity is that you deal into them. So it turns out that waiting on the Hatsu or the 9 pin would have been better here, but you can't know that.
Right. Textbook wise, this is the better way to go for.
Right.
But textbook and actual game situation tend to differ greatly.
Unfortunately.
I mean, Max is the only one I see dropping that 6 mon. And definitely he's folding now, so.
Yeah, Luz has the opportunity should she find Tenpai. But instead finds the 4 as that becomes Nakatsuji, and so can still get Tenpai without dealing in.
Goose was picking up another pair there, but not going to matter too much here towards the end. Well, there's an Anko.
Yeah, Luz folding now. And yeah, I think we'll head to Ryukyoku. A very exciting start.
I know. You have so much confidence, getting a start like that, and then it's just like when you start with like 5 of 7 pairs, oh, this is going to be great, and then you draw nothing for the rest of the hand.
Yeah.
Still, 3,000 points is 3,000 points, and you get to continue as dealer. That's going to put him within 4,000 points of the lead, too.
And there's two sticks in the pot, as well as 3 home buffs, so lots of points to collect in addition to whatever you can win.
Meanwhile, the Dora is 4 pin. We see one of those in this hand already, with 2 pairs in the Pinzu as well, and some good sequences elsewhere in the Sozu. Picking up that 7 pin is definitely going to help things along, too. That's going to be another very quick hand. Looking at the pairs on the right there in Hong's hand, also a sequence set up, and actually 2 sequences set up. That's also a hand of possibilities. Luce, meanwhile, she's got some pairs there as well. And some good encouraging shapes. We'll see where that goes. And Max has a couple pairs himself. Actually, 3 pairs. If you count 4 now, picking up the Hatsu.
The Hatsu is a big help.
That is a very big help
Each.
indeed.
But Steve's going to get there
But we've got
first.
Dealer Ricci.
Yeah, Ricci, Dora 1, Champon wait on the 1 pin, 6-so. 6-so not amazing, but 1 pin, it's okay. It's a little bit worse because the 4 pin is the Dora, and so 1, 4 Suji is on the same line. But if that wasn't the case, normally it would be a pretty good side for your Champon. Now, what about Max? Is Max going to push for this note? Chooses to play a little bit safely. Well, it's safe aggressive. The 7 pin pair is safe, but also you've got Honitsu chances. Oh,
Exactly. Oh,
and
I
draws an
think you push
uncle.
this now.
Yeah, this is starting
It's
to
gonna
look a
be
little
difficult
expensive.
to. Yeah, it's expensive.
Oh
You still
my-
gotta deal with that too. Oh,
Okay,
let's
North
say
pair
that.
up.
All right.
The 1 and the 2 are safe, but
Yeah.
you could just get Tempai drawing the 3 or any of those honors. Oh, it's not willing to push the
Ooh.
4, and then it's immediately
not to
revealed to be
push.
safe.
Sad day, but all is not lost just yet. I mean, wanted to Mawashi a little bit. Ooh, look at that pickup.
We are
I think
Suanko
it's back on
Ishanten.
now. Suanko Ishanten.
Or just Toy Toy, Honitsu,
Yeah.
Sananko maybe.
Either way, a good way to push your lead a little bit
Gee.
more here.
Oh, Gimmick calls for Tempai.
Oh, there we go. Also a Shanpon weight 4, so 3 P.
Sumo.
Oh, but the
Oh, but the-
sumo.
Sumo pickup.
Oh.
For Ricci Sumo Dora 1, 9,900 points.
2,000 all plus the sticks in the middle. That's Steve does not know how scary Max's hand was. Might have an idea, but
Yeah.
oh my goodness, that was
Realizing
wild.
that now if he's watching this VOD, by the way.
Right.
So hi, if you're watching.
Oh, and I guarantee you he will be.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at this though, dropping the Dora right away because he's Ishanten for another quick dealer hand, keeping the streak going.
To the right, we have Honitsu potential in the Sozu, and it keeps getting better as we pair up honor tiles across the table. This is very close as well. That has some potential. Just dropping the door right away because it looks like your standard Pinfu. Or forget all that. Dealer Ricci. Ricci Pinfu. 1
For
4
the 1 or the 4. Sozu.
4 in the wall.
Another super early reach too. You know, this is exactly what he tried before, but now no one's got these tiles.
Well-
There's the 4.
They're starting to get picked up.
Yeah, this is exactly
No, there we
what
go
hap- There's
again.
another-
It's happening.
Oh wow.
Now,
These
the,
players are some of the best readers in the game, so I doubt we see those drop.
well, this is awkward. So doesn't really look like the danger suit. I mean, lower so isn't safe here. But if you run out of tiles, it's easy to see a 1 come out, and
Dong.
just like that, Luz puts it out.
There it is.
No.
Ricci Pinfu. No Ura, but 5,100 points, all
Yeah.
the same.
Four Homba was an extra 1,200, so that's actually a more significant hit than you'd expect. And Steve keeps the train running.
Yep. You can keep doing that, especially now with 5 Honbai in the pot. Dora is east. And while this hand is not far and away a huge, oh my gosh, it's already Ishanten type hand, definitely a contender. We're seeing some sequences, one already locked in and some other good shapes. Sanshoku chance here for sure.
Yeah, draws
right,
keep
we
coming
see-
in.
Yeah, that's going to move fast, so we better move faster here. Hong's got a couple pairs already in hand. Actually, make that 3 pairs. Otherwise, some difficult closed weights to maneuver around. Loose, meanwhile,
Ishanten.
has a Ishanten, yes.
1, 2, 3 Sanshoku already made. I dealt into a hand like this in my last game. Kenyon had this. It was a beautiful early Sanshoku.
And meanwhile, Max with, well, got some closed weights to maneuver around as well. But you have a couple pairs. And, you do have a sequence of 7, 8, 9 Manzu locked in as well.
That is a Dora drawn by Luce, and this is quite interesting because Luce is looking for a pair. And why not let your pair be Dora? If you find Tempai here, you don't even need to declare Ricci.
Yeah,
You could Dora Tanki for a Mangon.
there you go.
And now Steve has too many options. It's a good problem to have. Chooses to try to lock in the Sanshoku chance here. Oh, and that is Tempai. Luce does choose the Dama here on Dora Tanki. would be Sanshoku door 2 for a Mangan.
And none of the Easts have shown themselves yet.
Absolutely, they're in the wall.
Meanwhile, dealer picking up an Anko of the Wests. Not a door in and of itself, but will certainly move this along. But it doesn't matter. The East has been found. Sanshoku Sumo Dora 2.
It just felt like it was going to happen with all the East being in the wall and how quickly the hand came together. It just seemed destined to be a winner.
When you put those elements together, that's the only thing that can happen. Hong now with an encouraging move out of... Sorry, that wasn't him that won last round. That's right.
That was Luz, yeah, but right here
yeah.
with 4 pairs to start with, I'm not sure if you're encouraged by that. It depends on how much of a Chitoi fanatic you are. Could also be Toy, and you do have Dora inclusion. To the right, it looks like could become just a Ricci Dora 1 or a Ricci Pinfu if you end up dropping your one of those pairs. Across the table, there's a chance at making Honitsu here, but also a chance of just being Ricci Nomi. There's the backbound for an Itsu and the Sozu as well, so a couple different ways that could go. And then to the left, it is, well, a lot of 1-3 and 7-9 shapes, so there's a chance at Junchan. And Steve's moving that direction with a 6 so cut. Looks like he'll angle for Junchan potential Sanshoku. And it's also 2 Dora, but you're not necessarily going to be able to use both of those 7-pin. You would love to draw into an Ipeiko in the upper pins and use both of the Dora, but that's not a guarantee. But that 7 so is a great pickup.
Yeah.
Now
Again, that gives you a lot of options.
Yeah, again, spoiled for choice. I think this is the right choice, though.
You can go for the Junchan for sure.
Oh, well, maybe it wasn't the right choice.
Well, you don't know that till you take the next draw.
Absolutely, yeah. It still has Sanshoku chance, and of course the Junchan.
And a Dora in there, don't forget that.
And Dora, yeah, so good chance
I have
to
2
make
Doras
manga.
right now, but I don't see the 8 and the 9 coming together to keep that other Dora in hand.
Oh, now you've drawn the 8, so we'll aim for the Sanshoku and decides to just drop the Dora right away. The idea being, my shapes are set, I already know what I'm doing. Let's get it out sooner rather than later. We're approaching the start of the second row. It's starting to get really dangerous. You'd expect some to be Tenpai within the next couple of discards. You don't want to be hanging on to that when the turn someone goes Ricci. Oh, the shapes are really nice for Luz. Might turn into Tanya Pinfu. But Max across the table makes the shift to Tanya with that 6 Chi.
6, 7, 8, yeah, Chi.
And now we do have Tenpai on the 4-pin and 2-5 so. Steve also speeds up the hand. Tenpai now for the Junchan Sanshoku Dora 1 Mangan. We need the 7 so. 7 Man. 2 of those in the wall. As opposed to the 5. Is that 5? 3, 4, yeah, 5 winning tiles. For Max in the wall.
Crazy. 22 of those left, and there's the 7.
Yeah, normally
Sanshoku Junchan on Dora.
Normally the 4 is a little bit more dangerous than the 7, but not when your opponent's going for Junchan, and that is a Mangan victory for Steve. We'll move into
about 50k.
Absolutely. So far, so good for Steve. Has won 2 really massive hands.
Mm-hmm.
How about this high pie?
Oh, wow. Once again, this is the high pie's blessing game here. We have 1, 2, 3 pairs so far, but the rest of the tiles are super close. There's a 4th pair, in fact. Wow. That's coming together very nicely. The door is north. I'm not seeing one in the hand across, but it's otherwise not a lot happening there. I'm seeing some shapes that are encouraging, but we'll see. Let's get back to Max's hand now with a couple pairs there. Sorry, just 1 pair and a sequence, rather. And stuff coming together nicely there. And on Huang's side, we see some 3 pairs in the Manzu and a sequence already finished off in the Sozu.
Yeah, there's a really interesting choice from Luce on the 3rd discard, that 3-pin. How you expect to see this hand progress. And Luce values this 4 so a lot because there's a chance at 3-4-5 Sanshoku or 2-3-4 Sanshoku. Is also just a good floater here. You've got so many pairs that you don't really need all of them. So you chose to retain the Ipeco chance in the upper pin tile, so that 7 pin is a nice floater. Keep the 3-3-4 shape, and retain the 4-so as a good floater. The awkward thing is if you drop that 4-so, what so tile can you accept? You've got none left in hand, and so it definitely allows you to retain more draws.
Meanwhile,
Now,
Steve getting his 5th pair.
oh yeah, the hand definitely looks like Chitoi, and to the left,
Yeah, Ishanten
Gimmick
for
is
Chitoi.
Ishanten as well.
That's also a nice hand coming together there.
Yeah, so Max wants to make the Itsu, of course. Chooses to lock the 7 pin as a pair. Could have gone headless instead, but this allows you to just draw into Tenpai, so...
Loose calling the 3. My sensing time might be running out here. I'll put him in Tenpai. Put her in Tenpai, rather, for 5-so.
Oh, just draw it.
And it's drawn!
Nice. Well, that puts an end to the big hand that Max was building, and also the Chitoi across the way. A very nice finish for Loose, who starts out with another reasonable high buy. A lot of these loose honors, lone honors. Of course, there's reasonable floaters elsewhere, so you're hoping to pair up either the Haku or the East and be able to call, especially when you see Steve across the way opening so early. 2 calls already, you know that hand's fast, and it's Ishanten already. Of course, you want to be able to use the Dora 7 Mon, so you're hoping to draw around that. Looking to the right, we've got the Hatsu pair. Shapes are awkward, so you really want to just call and go. And then to the left, this hand looks a little bit better for a Richi Pinfu.
Ferrari Tenpai from Steve, by the way.
Oh.
9-so, 7 Mon.
True the Dora, that's insane.
Don't.
Here's the 9-so!
Yeah, that is so fast. So 3,900 going
South.
Steve's way, plus the Homba.
South Dora 2. Incredible. That'll move us right along to South 2. The Dora is now north, and we see one of those in Max's hand right now as he gets started off as dealer. That's already a pretty contender of a hand there. You could go for flush here pretty easily if you drop the tiles in Pinzu, Sozu, but wait a minute, 1-3-1-3. Might be seeing some kind of a Sanshoku chance there, perhaps. Meanwhile, Steve has some pairs going right now, but some otherwise good sequences shaping up. Hong now calling the 9 Mon early, and we see some other... Going on Ozuke here, I'm trying to figure out what he might be going for.
I suspect just the race between Huang and Luce, they're so tight in points, does not want to let Luce win a hand.
Gotcha, and South is just 1 call away. Meanwhile, speaking of Luce, rather difficult hand here, but you do have a sequence locked in already. You have the Pinzu, some other pairs to go along with it, including the Hatsu. So it could be Yakuhai race here. We'll see. One of the Hatsu already dropped, though.
Yeah, this is interesting because there's a chance for Pinfu, but chooses to drop the 1-so pair instead. Huang draws into Ishanten now. Still, of course, you need the South. And the other players at this point are recognizing that it's Yakuhai, likely to be just a Yakuhai call. So it'll be interesting if anyone delays on discarding the South for that reason. Or maybe you just get it out of the way early. Our dealer Max going headless here. There's no pair in the hand, but it's got some very nice shapes in the Pinzu. And of course, retaining that door in hand, you want that to be your head, so to speak. You want that to be the pair.
Still no sign of the other Norths.
Yeah.
They're visible or invisible in this case.
The last time there was one Dora in hand and the rest were in the wall. That was when Luce was aiming for that Sanchoku Mangon, and she ended up drawing it. The 6 will not deal in if it is discarded because...
There's the other 6.
Yeah, Gimmick has a Yakulas Tenpai here.
Still need to find that south.
But that 6 helps max out. This is Ishanten now. You probably wait toward Tonki, although you do have a Suji trap set up in the
Another
pin.
south. Gonna drop it, and Pone.
So now the
That means
3/6
now-
wait is live.
With that 6 coming out, that's already some built-in bait.
Yeah, it came out very just before, so
Yeah.
oh, here's
Yeet.
Tempai,
The 6
beautiful.
still looks safe. Wow.
And just going to throw that north out against the called hand, that is actually kind of scary against what Huang was building across the table.
Gee,
But when you have Richie, Tanyao, Pingfu as dealer, good weight.
We have another
Sumo.
10 pie on Loose's side, but it doesn't matter. 3 is picked up for south only. That'll be Huang taking a small gain there as we head into south 3. And the door is 4 pin. We don't see that in this hand, but definitely could accept it. We're seeing some pairs, though. Actually, one of those pairs has just graduated to Anko status. And see some other encouraging shapes
Yeet.
there as well.
Yep. Yeah,
But we have an immediate Ricci from Huang. Is,
five so Tonki,
5 and-
Kanchan.
Yeah, five Kanchan, you're right. And already those 5 are picked up by Max over on the left.
What in the world? Just draw back to back? So now it's dead. The weight is
Pretty much,
dead.
Yeah.
Everyone
weight's
else
dead.
has a better hand than the one that has a clear Ricci.
And that other 5 is up in Loose's hand right now, and that's not likely to drop either. That's part of a
Never.
really nice presence of the Sozu. Picking up that's your 3rd sequence right there.
Yeah,
So-
Loose is Ishanten, so
Yeah.
there's so much incentive to fight this Ricci. Gimmick is your point competitor, so you cannot let him win this hand. You have to fight.
Absolutely.
That's Tempai. It's a bad weight,
Wow.
but also so just Dama. Tanya Dora 1. But that's enough to overtake, especially with the stick that's in the middle. And Steve might want to fight for this.
Gee.
Steve's going to make the call there. It's a good hand, except for that 2, 4, 6 in the Manzu. But that's mattering less and less. Now that's Tenpai.
Yep.
Waiting on the 5 Mon.
2 in the wall. Versus...
Rather secure in hand.
Oh no, that door draw
Yeah, but
hurts.
Dora.
Oh, I don't think you can. So drops the
That
6
does.
instead.
Interesting move there.
So this will be really interesting. If Steve draws around that Dora, will he drop the 4 Mon and deal into loose?
Yeah. Oh, there's a 6 again. Wall almost saying, "Are you sure? You can go back to the other weight if you want."
Yeah, loose continue to fight, not declaring Ricci here, although the only upgrade is the 2 Mon, I guess. And there's the
No.
dealing.
But drops the 4.
Yeah, once you draw Dora, you've got Tanya Dora 2 as dealer. It's a massive hand. And
Still a massive lead in this case. So
yeah, definitely not the worst outcome. Now, that definitely is a rough outcome for Huang, who has to win here or have loose deal into somebody else for more than 2,100.
that's right. We are in all last, but Huang immediately dropping the Dora from this hand at the first discard, and we see a sequence of the Banzu. I think we're seeing why. This is a strong hand without it. That's really just holding it down, and you just need to make some quick moves here. Loose, meanwhile, Anko of the 6 and the 5 so, and picking up some other great sequences already in this hand. That's an incredible start. Max, meanwhile, having some dragons in there. Looks like they're going to be targeting the whites here. We see a good sequence in Pinzu and Sozu as well. And over on the left, Steve with some pairs there and some encouraging shapes. Sadly, is kind of the one getting left behind here in this case. While we were away, though, Hong, look at this Manzu presence now. I think I see what they're going for.
Yeah, it's really come together, but the White Dragon comes out first, and that's going to give Max Tempai on the 3 Mon. Now, the 3 Mon, it looks pretty secure in Huang's hand, but it doesn't have to be. If you draw the 2 Mon, you could try to lock in an Ipeko there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, with this draw, though, it looks like the 3 Mon will be secure. because you can find Pinfu Tenpai upon drawing the 6-mon, 9-mon, or 6-pin, 8-pin. 6-pin, 9-pin.
Riichi.
Loose Finds Tenpai, though, as well, declares the Riichi 5, 8-pin, Riichi Nomi, but that will be enough. And there's no other Yaku, so you have to declare the Riichi if you want to be able to win. The Gimmick, of course, needs to fight this. And Max bails. Yeah, Max cannot deal into this hand, even if the door is all gone. Especially on the Ipatsu turn, there's a chance that Max finishes 4th if he were to deal in. So, plays it safe.
No.
Oh, no, Gimmick deals
that?
in. That's going to hurt. It's Riichi, Ura 1.
Well, there's no Ura.
Oh, sorry, no Ura.
Yeah, just Riichi Nomi.
But
That's going to bring this to an end, though.
that forces Gimmick in 4th. And unfortunately, without the Ura,
Yeah.
Lewis will fall just short of 3rd place. So Steve, the big winner here, plus 42, as he finished with 52,000 points, 700, and the remaining 3 players were below 30K. He gets the extra 5 UMA bonus. So wow,
Wow.
what a finish.
Yeah, there you go. Steve with a good rally here. The scores have been updated.
Will be
I think-
updated presently. Yeah,
I
we have
saw-
not been
I
getting
saw one
the-
of them move, but that was from the other game.
Yes.
That just finished.
They've not been auto-updating as nicely this evening, but we've got the manual in there. And Steve claims 1st place after that big win.
Wow. First place, not by much, but you can go to sleep knowing that at the half point, you're the top player in the league. That's a great place to be. Lewis is moving down into 4th, or might have been there to begin with.
No, it moved down. I believe they were 2nd before a couple games got played, and so. But this isn't bad. This is only 19 points out of
yeah.
1st place. This is perfectly fine. And Max, as well, this isn't bad either. You're at plus 92.2 overall. So
I'd say pretty much everybody above par here has a shot at 1st. I mean, look at that.
absolutely. Oh yeah. See,
There's quite a huge gap between Minko and Simon there. I'm looking at.
yeah, 84 points to -10. No one has a moderate season. It seems like people have found themselves in games where someone just runs away with it. I noticed that not only in my own games, but watching some of the other A1 matches. In this game, Steve ran away with it.
One just now, yes.
Yeah. So it seems to be a very polarized A1 season, very different from the last season where everything was extremely tight until the very end.
But it's a pretty tight pool of 7 people, I would say.
For
Right.
sure.
You're right, it's not like across the whole board this time. So, incredible action tonight, and more incredible action to come for sure.
Absolutely.
Definitely do yourselves a favor and hit that follow button if you haven't already. And of course, you can follow us on Twitter at American Ricci to be notified when we go live. So I believe there's another match we're looking at. I believe it's also in A1, or it might be B1.
Yes, I was just checking the listing here, and it does look like the A1 match has started fairly recently. It's already in session. So actually, let's go over and hop there now.
There we go.
Do a quick refresh of this page, grab this game.
Over in Tenno Lobby 6969, the nicest lobby on Tenno.
Absolutely. We've got 4 players here who will have some progress to be made. Go ahead and we're in South 1. Oliver is the dealer.
South 1.
Eric to the right. Minko across the table.
Boom.
Amy to the left. You're going to see some glitchiness as I attempt to change the names. If you could call out the
absolutely.
names again once for me,
Sure.
it's Oliver, Minko, Amy, and who?
Eric.
Ah, yes,
believe.
Eric. Eric, of course, was
Bonzo.
chatting a little bit earlier today,
Yes.
sharing some of his insights.
Mhm.
Always great to hear from Eric.
Mm-hmm. There we go. That's them right there. And I'll just take through the hands here. South 1 already. The Dora is 4-pin, and check that out with Oliver here. Has 3 Dora already in hand. And definitely a hand that can convert that big time here. Definitely going to help them move out of 3rd. We see an Anko in Eric's hand as well with the 8 so.
Eat.
Got some pairs. But Oliver's already calling reach here. 1 pin 3 so is the Shanpon weight here. One of the ones already discarded recently, so that's going to look pretty safe.
Yeah, there's a little hesitation to decide which weight shows the Champon. 1 so is okay. 3 so probably more likely to be drawn. Oh, it looks like there's only one of those in the wall as well. So not that many tiles to be drawn.
Yeah. Looks like it's been a pretty defensive struggle game 3 here. We're not seeing anyone really running away with the score yet. I mean, Tech Bros got definitely a good lead right now, but I mean, anything can change just right here in the half right now, in the second half.
Yeah, going ahead and correcting some of the standings. Looks like refreshing is the order of the day here. There we go.
Wonders of Google Sheets. There we go.
Thanks to the folks in chat pointing out when things aren't quite working the way we want it to. It looks like Eric giving up on this, though. Was Ishan's head for a while. He has a chance to get back there, but chooses to just commit to the fold instead. We have yet to see the 1 pin or 3 so get drawn yet. The remaining ones, at least.
Right. We have another 10 pie from Amy, waiting on the 4 and the 1.
Oh.
And there's the 1.
Yeah,
but
so this is...
I don't think that's a Yaku, unfortunately. You
So-
need the 4 to win on this one for Tanya.
It chooses to discard the pair here.
Or did I read that wrong?
Oh yeah, there's no Yaku. It was the
Yeah.
1-4 weight.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. But stay in 10 pie. That's good enough to get a no 10 payment from somebody else. And Oliver also gets that. Sadly, not going to convert on that 3 Dora Anko there. But
Chi.
that will keep us going here in South 1. The Dora is for Mon now. We have an interesting hand here. Nothing really completed yet. You do have some shapes, but this is going to be difficult to work around, especially with Eric calling an early 9-8-7. So, looks like an easy Chanta here.
I don't know about
Depending on
easy,
how-
but that definitely seems
Well-
like the play.
Yeah, that easily you'd pick that.
Oh, well,
That's
just
what
draw
I
the
meant.
south and double south, and then you got it.
What'd I tell you? It's easy.
I gotta trust your calls more, Blaine.
I guess so, yeah. Minko, meanwhile, we see some pairs there and some sequences kind of starting to form up. We'll keep an eye on that. Amy also has a sequence in the Manzu right now, as well as in the Sozu as well, and a pair of the greens. Eric taking another step towards Chanta there with that call of the 1 Mon.
Yep, Ishanta now currently will be waiting on one of the dragons, if you call the south. First south was the first discard of Minko, but it gets dropped here, and now the 1 out tune's gotta come out soon. Minko dodges it for 1 turn. Oh, Ricci from Amy, that might just encourage the tune to come out anyway. But now Eric has to be careful. What is drawn here? 2, that's fine. That's fine. The early 3 so was cut, and then the tune.
Boom.
Yep.
There we go. With South, double South rather, and Shanta, that's 7,500 points for Eric. He moves up to 40,000. Now he's the one with that 40,000 lead. Interesting how that suddenly just switched over. South 2 now. The Dora is 7 pin. We see an Ipeko chance for Eric in this hand. Otherwise, you do have other pairs you can fall back on as well. And meanwhile, in Minko's hand, we see some sequences forming up. Not quite there yet, but a couple pairs to go as well. Across, we see a whole lot of honors. 3 pairs of them, in fact, for Amy's hand. For the White Dragons, North and South. Kind of a toss-up whether you want to go for a flush on this and what suit you pick there. And meanwhile, in Ash's hand, or Oliver's hand, we see a Anko of the 2 pin, also a sequence locked in, and some pairs as well. Or a pair, rather. You want to talk about pairs. In Eric's hand, he's already got an Anko of the 3 pin, and also now pair in the suit right next to it.
Yeah, it draws the Dora.
Mm-hmm.
So moving 2 tiles away from Tenpai. North call from Amy and not yet committing to a Honitsu. In fact, doesn't look like we'll end up being Honitsu unless you draw around that 4-mon.
Still hasn't made that call. In fact, you see them discarding pretty much every suit, so that's going to definitely mask a Honitsu if that's what she ends up going for.
Well, there's the draw. But Ash actually finds Tenpai and chooses the Dama here on the Shampoo for Tanyadora 1, and Eric dodges. I wonder if Eric read the Tenpai. Because this is a complete bail on the 6-8. Oh, you know what? The 7 is just too difficult to discard against the Honitsu, but the 3 wasn't apparently. And unfortunately, it actually was a dangerous discard. So Amy will pick up the Mongon. Just found Tenpai right before, drawing the South herself.
Wow, and that moves to a pretty commanding third place, still below 30k as the other two players are, aside from the leader, as we move into South 3. The door is 3-mon now, and we are seeing a sequence already picked up by Minko. Hatsu already called by Eric. Looks like he's going to try to go quickly with this one again. And we're seeing some sequences already in his hand as well. Over on Amy's side, though, you've got East and South the South is the double Yakuhai, so that can definitely ratchet up some points quick, and that sequence pickup there is definitely going to help things as well. And across in Oliver's hand, we see an Anko of the 7 with a good sequence on the edge of Sozu.
Yishan 10 there.
Yishan 10.
Yeah, you could grab Pingfu if you complete one of your Yamen shapes and drop the 7-pin, but you'd almost rather just draw the Dora and declare Ricci on the 3-6. So we'll wait and see how that develops. I want to give a shout out to Overlord Whale, who has rated with a group of 6. Awesome to see more viewers in the chat.
Thank you all for coming by. This is A1 Game 3 with some action in the middle of the division right now. Some people looking to get above that par line, and it's only halfway through the season. Possibly go for the gold.
Yeah, and Eric Tenpai here. It's not an expensive hand, but in first place, you just want to move things along into South 4, and really no one's got a super expensive hand except for the potential Ricci across the table for Oliver. Now, the double South that is looming for Amy might not come into play, as there are... Oh, I thought that was another 3, but here we go. Here's the Ricci. 2-5-mon. Ricci Dora 1. Not the ideal value, but you'll take it.
2 of the 2s are visible, and 1 of the 5s. Now the 1 of the 2s is in a hand.
And Amy pushes the 3.
And Minko picks up another sequence.
Yeah, players fighting here. I mean, the scoreline is so tight, you almost have to.
Yeah, especially being dealer.
So Amy preemptively drops the 7, so the 6 so was safe. Sorry, Monzu. We're looking at the Monzu here. Drops the 7-mon, but the 6-mon was safe. This is in anticipation of being able to call the South. Oh, door draw. Amy has a lot of incentive to fight, but fight by dropping the 2-mon, which would deal in.
Yeah.
Fight
real quick. Oh, but here's another 2. So
options. 6 was safe. 6-mon was safe earlier. Just drop South. Okay.
Okay, getting rid of the double South chance, but all right.
You haven't seen it, so you're kind of wondering if someone else has a pair. And Eric, meanwhile, gave up their hand. Here's that South. Oh, there's another South. Okay.
Bad day. Oh, that hurts.
It is Tenpai now for
now.
Minko. Declares the Ricci. 1-4 pin is the weight. And that actually looks pretty good. 4 left in the wall with only 13 draws remaining. Amy,
anybody's weight can come out right now.
Oh, that's trouble.
And there's the 5.
Oh, it looks bad though. Amy's Tenpai, but against 2 Ricci, doesn't want to push it. And you can still find Tenpai if you call a 1-4. We can wait on the Tonki 5.
There's a 1 picked up by Eric. He's not fighting this.
Oh, there's a 1 pin.
Oh,
we're gonna drop it and deal in to the dealer. Ricci Pinfu. No Ura, but 4,900 points.
Yeah, the real value is almost just not even winning the hand. It's preventing someone else from winning the hand.
Oh, yeah.
This does move Minko into second, though.
Yeah, those monsters forming up there. Dora is 5, so that could fit in this hand easily, but we see a pair of west and north, none of which are any relevant wins in this case, but that Anko of 3 pin might do something there, to be continued. Amy on the right rather, has a sequence in the Pinzu right now and some other encouraging shapes at the moment. A cross in Oliver's hand, a couple pairs there right now, and some other tiles on the edge. And over in Eric's side, I see well, he's already called the 2-3-4. He's going for some quick calls lately. I think he's going to try to just hang on to what lead he's got here. It is over 100k ahead of everyone else, and we're close to the end, so I think that's his strategy, is just get out of here as quick as possible.
Yeah, 10,000 plus, you want to keep everyone below 30k. A lot of incentive to go for fast hands, and Eric is known to do this in general, play a bit of a disruptive game, and prevent other players from winning their hand. Which is important when you know that every single player can build a monster. Yeah. Oliver's hand across the table is really...
As Binko showed us here, too.
Yeah, exactly. Across the table, Oliver had a really awkward hand, was looking almost like Kokushi, but there's only eight unique tiles in a pair. Now turns into a bit of a chi toy, and or Ipeco Chanta. There's options now.
It's an awkward hand with potential.
Right. Okay, the Chanta might be real now. Could even make Junchan out of this as well. Now,
very interesting.
Binko is in a really awkward spot with all of these pairs of somewhat useless honors, except for the Hatsu, which is once cut. You might have to start calling, opening, going to Atozuke for the final Hatsu just to give yourself a shot at winning here. When you see all of these pairs, you're thinking Honitsu, but then you have the Anko of 3 pin and then all of these lone Sozu tiles. Honitsu is not easy. Outside of Eric's hand, the other hand that looks very promising is Amy's. And that's actually Ishantem.
Yeah. Oliver's got an interesting hand. It's just, there's not a lot you can really... There's not a lot of possible pieces to put in it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And there's the call for Yakuhai as we enter the third row, so...
Yeah, that gives Minko a chance here.
Yes.
If that last Hatsu was in the dead wall, I imagine, like, Yukioku is your best bet.
That is Tenpai.
Oh, a little short.
No, not quite. No.
It's awkward because you've already discarded an 8, so, but at this point, I don't think you even care about being 30-10, you just want to get to the end Tenpai.
Yeah. Speaking of, Amy is now Tenpai, waiting on the 9 and the 6, so...
Of course, there is no Yaku there, so will not be able to win.
Well, no, you're right. No Yaku.
Eric calls into a hand that does have a Yaku, that's Tanyao. Tanyao only. And this is Tenpai for Tech Pro. Chooses to drop the 7, just deciding which tile was a little safer. And the West or the North will win.
North. Also, Shanpon on Eric's side, 8-mon 6 pin.
Of all the tiles that are lighting up in Oliver's hand right now, only the 8-mon in the North deal in.
There's North.
North looks so suspicious here because you haven't seen it come out, and it might deal into Eric, but actually, it deals into Minko here.
There we go. 4,200 points added here. That's going to be a shot closer to Eric. Eric's probably looking at this thinking, how do I put an end to this as we continue with South 3? Dora is the 2. So, and we already see 3 pairs in Minko's hand at the moment.
Make that 4?
Make that 4, yes. So definitely progressing quickly to Chitoi would be the easiest thing I could think of right now. Amy, meanwhile, has the pairs, some pairs in 5 pin, rather that's an Anko in the 6-mon, so has some potential there. Across in Oliver's hand, we have good sequence already set in Pinzu, and also one in Sozu. That 4 as well is going to help things along. And Eric, we see an Anko of the 8-mon, a pair of the 8 pin, and some sequences already coming together as well.
Yeah, that's Ishanten. The awkward shape is the 4-6 Kanchan.
Yes.
But
yes, that's what was kind of throwing me a little bit.
Eric has been trying so hard to get this to end and just hasn't been able to... I mean, has gotten Tenpai over and over again, just hasn't been able to get the final tile. So maybe an early reach will do it. I'm not sure if he'll take the 5 so Kanchan reach if it's given to him, but now you don't have to. Now you have the upgraded shape. You have Diamond on either end, so I imagine we will see a Ricci soon. But here's another pair.
It's 5 pairs for the dealer.
So Chitoy real right now. Dora, 1 is across the way. The rest are not in hand. They're in the wall. And actually, Oliver across the table is Ishan 10. Would love to pair up the Dora and have Pinfu, Dora 2, potentially Peiko. Oh, and that's a beautiful draw. Now you have even better pair weights. You can draw the 5 or the 8. Even if you end up drawing in the Pinzu shape, you can end on a Nometan or take the Dora Tonki. I'm not sure which one he'll choose. Ends up giving up on the Ipeco to force the Dora inclusion. The downside of this is if you, well, backfire like that, but if you draw the Dora, you're no longer Tenpai.
Eric is Tenpai now for 8 and the 5.
Does not declare the Ricci here, so no value, or no Yaku. I don't know if Eric can tell.
Yeah, that the 5 and the 8s are sitting in Minko's hand.
There is only one of those left in the wall.
That's definitely quite some insight if that's what he's thinking.
From his perspective, his Kamicha looks a little suspicious. Oliver across the table has not discarded any Sozu, so it might be holding them, but it's actually Minko who's got them.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I haven't looked at Amy's hand in a while. How is this progressing? This Ishan 10 should be.
It's close.
Is.
Yeah. Kind of have that awkward sort of Anko of the 6 with a 7 hanging outside, but there's Oliver calling reach for 2, 5, and 8 Sozu.
Yeah, there's an option to take the Pinfu weight, but the 1-4.
Eric's definitely not going to drop that now, but there's a Ipatsu for him there. Ricci, sorry.
Ricci Patsumo Dora 2, perfect wall reading from Oliver.
Kind of froze there, like, whoa. Yeah. Wow, and that gives him the, well, not the lead, but now he's got the shot at the lead. As we head into all last, definitely any move you make could be the one. Amy is going to be the dealer, though, and definitely needs this dealership. It's going to be a difficult hand to do it with here, though. I see a sequence in the Sozu, but that's pretty much it. You do have an East and a South, which are both your Yakuhai wins, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Oliver, meanwhile. Sorry, go on.
Oh, I was saying my heart would be sinking if I saw this opener. I'm like, 1, 2, 3, Sanchoku, please.
Yeah, it could happen. We'll see. Oliver, though, has a pair and some interesting shapes at the moment, but also going to be a difficult hand to work with. 2 Dora, though, so that is at least encouraging. Eric, meanwhile, this hand looks a lot better. The tiles are all a lot closer. Got the 3s and the 4, 5, 6, and a few other things going on as well. Minko, meanwhile, has a few pairs going on, as well as a 7, 8, 9 sequence in the Sozu.
So once again, we see Eric opening early, has the Yaku in mind. Tanyao, Dora 2. Will he finally get the finisher?
I know. This is where you need it.
Now, Amy did draw the 3-so and the 1-so. So 1, 2, 3, Sanchoku definitely possible. You don't have to commit to it fully, but if you feel the pressure to open, there's a route to doing so.
There's a 4, 5, 6 sequence you have completed now.
And of course, we're missing a pair here, so Amy is making sure to retain the chance at both a normal hand and the 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku. And here's your decision point.
G.
Does make the call.
Calls it. There we go.
I think I like it.
Now you're waiting on the Dora, though.
Yeah, that is the one downside is the one that you're missing is the Dora.
And as we can see, 2 of those, really, they're mochi-mochi in Eric and Oliver's hand right now. They're not likely to leave, and of course, if they come out before she's in Tenpai, she can't call them.
Oh, this is so difficult now.
7 pin is what Oliver is waiting on. right after the 7 pinas dropped, or just shortly after. But as you can see, Anko of that in Minko's hand right now.
I'm trying to figure out how these players are going to fight this, or if they will fight it. Amy almost has to. And yeah, we see...
You want to get back into positive territory.
Right.
Granted, you're not going to lose too many points from this at the present, if the game ended right this second.
This is tough for Eric as well. Probably not close enough to Tenpai to really push for it, so you don't want to deal in. But it's hard to fold with the tiles that you have.
Exactly.
Still thinking about it, because if Oliver wins a Mangan from anybody, that will be enough to surpass Eric for first. If Oliver gets a big enough sumo, that can also pass Eric for first. So there's some incentive for Eric to fight this, even though it's risky. Oh, and then Minko is just Ishanten.
Considering a call here, Amy is.
It doesn't quite work. This is Tenpai.
Yeah, that's Tenpai now, waiting on that 3.
It's never going to win, but it's Tenpai.
No. Unless the unthinkable happens.
That unthinkable would be Eric dropping Dora.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty unthinkable, yeah.
No.
You can't con, unfortunately, even for the Rinshan chance. But because all the 7s are locked up, Amy actually will be able to fight this without dealing in.
Yeah. And will be Tenpai heading into the draw.
Oh wow, this makes it so exciting and all last. The battle for first here is crazy, and the battle for third and fourth is great as well.
It's incredible. The Dora is now 8, so we'll see if we have a little bit more luck with this. Amy's got a sequence right now in the 1, 2, 3, as well as a pair. And another pair just picked up. That'll be a little bit of work to be done there. Oliver has...
Oh, I was going to say, let me jump in for Oliver, who is Ishanten already,
Yes.
with... it could be an awkward way, depending on what gets drawn. Eric across the table going for the Honitsu, just almost not quite committing, but really leaning in that direction. There's so many Pinzu and lone honor tiles. You really want to draw another honor first, so might just drop like an honor here and wait and see. And then to the left, this hand looks a little bit awkward, but you've got 4 pairs. You don't want to be going for Chitoi, but that might be what you have to do. With this call, Eric can think about Honitsu, can also think about just making Tanyao.
But Tech Bro now, Ishanten for Chitoi.
Is that another pair drawn? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Chitoi, not really a hand you think of being very fast, but you're this close. Well, speaking of clans that are close, Amy is
That's another
Ishanten.
pair for Amy. Yeah. Also for Chitoi. But there's other things you can do with that, too.
Absolutely. I'm looking at the Ipeko and the Manzu.
Yes.
Oh, that 9 is... you. I feel like you're thinking about that 9 a little bit and wondering, can I make the full flush?
Yeah, as Korak is pointing out in the chat right now, could go for Chinitsu.
But
That would
you're so
definitely
close
be
to a normal hand that you don't have to.
And your dealer. You know, that would be the way, that would be your fast pass to the lead. But you don't need to take that risk. But then again, you draw this, and now you got to think about it.
Yeah, there's Yanpeko chance, there's all sorts. What is your... Still Chitoi. Okay, forget Chitoi. We're just going to maximize the Manzu draws.
Yeah.
And Eric's hand across the table has shifted. Now it has the south pair. So it could go Atsuzuki waiting for the last south. Well, things are getting so exciting. And the craziest thing about this is Oliver on the right has been Ishanten this whole time and has not found a tile to see a Tenpai.
He was the first one to Ishanten, and now he's getting nothing.
Yeah, Quark pointing out
the most frustrating feeling in the world.
6 Mon was pwnable. Maybe it's hard to read that Tech Bro needs all these Pinzu tiles and might be willing to drop Manzu here, but if you think that's the play, then...
Oh, there's something for Oliver.
Oh, there we go. Dama Tenpai. Pinfu Ipeko. Dora Suji wait. 5-8. 5-8 so.
right.
Eric's got a Dora too.
Sadly, I don't think this
Oh,
change of
just
plans for
sumo.
Amy is working out. But there's the sumo, and that'll be all she wrote. Sumo, Pinfu Ipeko,
This will be
Dora
enough.
1. That'll be enough for the lead. 6,500 points.
What a finish.
Put on up to 23 points. Oliver will be leaving with Eric leaving with almost 10. Minko losing 9 there, and Amy losing 24.1. And I believe that was just game 3, and their next game will be starting in about 5 minutes from now. So, but still, what a match that was.
What a wild finish. That last
Now-
set of hands was just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we caught that only halfway at the start of the South round, but dang, that felt like a whole match there
It did.
with all that action.
The positional battles at the end were so tense, and there were so many dealer repeats that we almost got a full game's worth of action.
Pretty much, yeah.
So we will pause for a second and let some updates happen.
Yep.
In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and put us on a brief intermission. We'll be back in a couple minutes with updated standings and updated game information for you. So in about 2 to 3 minutes, we'll be back with game number 4 of this set.
This is 4, yes. Don't go away. We'll see you soon. And welcome back, everybody, to this hot summer night in the ARML. I am Blaine Singletary, joined, of course, by Nathaniel. And we just witnessed an incredible Game 3 from Minko, Amy, Oliver, and Eric in the A1 division, all kind of fighting for the middle right now. But we see the updated standings now. Minko in 7th at 75 above par. Amy is in 10th with -50. Oliver at just a little bit behind, 51.8, and Eric is at 98.5. Got to move out of the hundreds, negative hundreds back there. So,
yeah, we can see the battle for demotion is right around that 100-point mark. And
that's right, yeah.
A few of these players are kind of moving that direction, but Eric just exited that region. And still fighting to make their way to the positives. Definitely doable, especially 4. Well, it's going to be tough to do it in one game, but you can at least get yourself close if you're Amy or Oliver here.
And that does kind of explain Eric's drive to really get these hands moving quickly after getting even, well, it looks comparatively small to the other leads we've been seeing tonight, but still a lead nonetheless. He's going to be pushing for any kind of point gain just to stay out of demotion right now, probably tonight, but we'll see. He could hit a boon pretty early on. And the game is underway now. This is Game 4 in this Division A1 matchup. Minko is our first dealer, followed by Amy, and then Eric will be next, and Oliver is the last dealer here.
Yeah.
East 1, and the door is for so.
For the dealer here, pretty standard hand. You could just make a Ricci Pinfu potentially. You want to include the Dora if you can. A 3-pin is a great job. It gives you chances to shift into Tanya. To the right, this looks like a potential Itsu in the Pinzu. There's a chance for a 79 Sancho as well. You have the Haku pair that gets called immediately, so Amy looking to make a fast hand and just shut down everybody else. Across the table, we have reasonable shapes. Only one super good one, but there are some very nice floaters. I don't think you're going to be able to make the Itsu here, but you're thinking about it at least. And you have Dora inclusion there. And then to the left.
Think of Oliver's hand here, though.
Yeah, that looks like the hand right now. 5 pairs?
5 pairs, and, well, there are possibilities as well, but, you'll take an Ishan 10.
Absolutely. Okay, so that 3-pin makes you think. There's a chance for Sanshoku, Ipeko, Junchan. Junchan, Ipeko, Sanshoku.
I was thinking that, too. That's one of those possibilities that was in my head.
Wait, is that the Junchan, Sanshoku, Ipeko? Saki memes?
Yeah. Oh. I still haven't watched that anime, I know.
I actually haven't either. I think I watched one episode. It's like, it's okay.
It's out there. I need to watch it. But anyway. Minko, meanwhile, has some good shapes warming up here. Got 3 pairs, and now you got that 3-sided weight in the Manzu.
Yeah,
so
this
definitely
is...
forming up beautifully.
You got everything you need in this hand. And if you could... I'm trying to see a Sanshoku here. So if you draw a 5-pin, then you've got Sanshoku Pinfu as well.
You want to look at even more pairs up in Eric's hand now. He's got 5.
Oh, we might see a Chitoi battle.
Yeah, it's a Chitoi fight.
It's funny. Between Eric and Oliver, they've got the 1 through 4 set. Eric's got the 1s and the 4s, and Oliver's got the 2s and the 3s.
It's a split straight, pretty much.
I wonder who's going to be able to find Tenpai first. I mean, we have 3 players, Ishan 10, and of course, to the right, Amy also Ishan 10, just waiting for a pair of some sort. Well, there you go.
Oh, we're Tenpai. Waiting on the Chun now is Eric.
Yeah, North was twice cut, so that would be a Hellweight. Chooses the Shonpai Chun. Are there no Chun? They're all on the wall. Okay.
Yeah. But now Minko, with that call of the 3-pin, is going to go to Tenpai with a 3-sided weight.
It's interesting. It's a 1-4-7, but all of the 7s are gone, and you can't win on the 1, so it's only the 4 that will do it.
Yeah, and there's that one right there. That's going to fit nicely in Ash's hand for the Sanshoku or Ipeko, perhaps.
Ooh, Chun being Shonpai does not look safe here, and Amy looks like she's folding... Can work around this if she chooses to push a Manzu tile, but when you have an honor that hasn't come out and so many and no discards from one of the suits, it kind of looks like you were leaning towards Honitsu. It makes those honors feel a bit more dangerous. Well, now the 5-mon is Nakatsuchi, but can you trust that? That would give you Tenpai though, and does trust it. So Amy will pick up an extra 1,000 for her troubles, given that Tecro managed to maintain Tenpai here. So, nicely played.
Very much. And Minko will remain as dealer as we head, well, a continuance of East 1. The door is 8-mon, and, well, this is a kind of a disjointed hand, but you're seeing a lot of similar tiles in each suit, so there's a lot of Sanshoku chances here in various parts, so pretty interesting there.
The head to the right looks great, though.
Yes.
Kyanshan 10, but you've got Pinfu chances, you've got Dora acceptance. I'd be really pleased if I was in Amy's seat right now. And then across the way, Eric's got more pairs. That's 4 of them. And a Chun pair. So starts with the tunes that he was looking for last round and gets it this time.
Look
Not
at
guaranteed.
Oliver's hand now. I mean, we're seeing pairs getting Ankos being called left and right, but
Yeah.
look at this.
Yep. One,
He's got him
two,
in his
three
hand
pairs,
already.
4 pairs, and an uncle as well. Probably will want to call the East just to speed this up because everyone else is going fast. We of course saw the dealer call Haku as well. And
Chi.
Chi for Minko. This is Ishanten now. Pairs. That would have been 4 if Amy kept that 3. 3 Mon. Amy Ishanten, though, of course, would love to draw the 6. So right now that would be Richi Tanya Pifu Sanshoku Dora possible. Oh no.
Ooh.
Don't.
Oh, there's the 6.
Minko
And
got
that's
Tenpai just before.
just in time to snag it. There you go. Minko taking the more definitive lead now. With this East 1 continuing on, Dora is 9 pin, and we see that's one of Minko's pairs starting us off here. One of the 3 pairs. Otherwise, the rest of this hand is looking a little iffy, but definitely good start with the Pinzu.
Yeah, but
Anko of the East already.
Mhm.
Is that what you're about to say?
I was about to say that, yeah, Anko of the East, and a lot of Pinzu tiles doesn't have to be Honitsu, but you can think about it. Oh, never mind, we're going for it.
Oh yeah, let's go. Eric, meanwhile, that's going to be a difficult hand to work with everything else that's happening right now with those 3 wayward honors.
But
Oliver, though,
Oliver,
calling the Hatsu, could also go for a flush. Got a sequence already in the Manzu.
if
some other
you
tiles.
okay, if you draw another Monzu tile, you might think about it. I was gonna say if you call the 2 Mon, maybe, but 2 of the 2 Mons have been discarded from Amy, so it's a little bit harder to complete that shape. Instead, we'll take the Ishan 10 with the 5-7 shape instead of the 1-3. Oh, that's Tenpai now.
Waiting on the 6 pin. 2 of them in Minko's hand.
So you're looking across the table at Amy and thinking, all right, maybe she's going for Honitsu and the Pinzu. The 6 might be hard to get. But once again, it's Minko who has them. I feel like I've said that 3 times now. It looks like one person's holding your tile, but Minko always seems to have it. And now an interesting decision here. Chooses to drop the 6-8 Mon shape, which is kind of interesting given that so many players are discarding Mon tiles. It kind of feels like the 7 Mon might be good in the wall. There are 3 in the wall. But the other consideration is, do you really want to drop a pin tile into what Amy's building? And Minko, that might have played a role in Minko declining to discard that.
Mm-hmm. Amy picking up that 9 pin, though, that is being waited on by Oliver.
Yeah, Oliver upgraded the weight with an
Each.
8 pin draw. So 6-9
There's
now.
Eric with Ricci, waiting on the 8 pin.
Ricci Dora.
Dora indicator. Ricci Dora.
No con from Amy. Probably the wise move here.
Points. Yeah.
Yeah, we
that
can see.
Pin...
We're about to say the same thing. Yeah. All in hand, none on the wall. And none of these players want to drop it either.
Yeah.
So one of those hands where Eric probably not going to win. It's just a matter of, can Oliver maintain Tenpai long enough?
Only 20 tiles to go.
If Oliver wants to fold, Manzu look pretty safe. But might just want to claim the Honba and the Ricci stick with this 1,000 or potentially 2,000 point hand.
Not an insignificant amount of stuff in the pot right now.
Yeah, 7 pin means Oliver is going to stick to this weight for the remainder of the game. So there will at least be 2 players Tenpai when this is all said and done.
Minko making a call, though. Quite a dangerous situation. And there's the 6 pin for Hatsunomi. That's a 2,700 points to stay up in this pretty close match so far.
Just draw the last.
Yeah, we are finally moving on to East 2 now. Dora is 6-0, and this hand right now, the high pie for the dealer. Seeing a couple pairs, 3 pairs actually. Some interesting shapes, but especially that draw. 2 9-so in a row. That's going to be difficult.
To the right, there's
Eric,
Epic Good Chance and Dora, Dora Inclusion, maybe even 2.
Mm-hmm. Oliver, meanwhile, has a Dora as well. Also has some good sequences in the Pinzu. And on the left, Minko We're seeing a good sequence in Manzu with a pair, 2 pairs rather, and 3 pairs. I just keep finding more in this hand.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's a world where you can make 789 Sanshoku.
but now you have this Anko of the 3 so
Yeah, let's go for it.
oh, yeah, why not?
You have so many pairs. You have to drop one of your shape. Oh my goodness. Just,
Each.
what are these draws?
Oh. And that covers up the fact Oliver picked up another Dora just now.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, Oliver with some incentive to push. When you've got 2 Dora, it's a lot
Mhm.
less likely that your opposition has something of great value.
that's right.
The 6-9 is starting to run thin. There are actually 0 6s left in the wall and only 2 9-pin.
Yeah. That's staying in Amy's hand for sure.
Amy, of course, Ishanten for the Sanshoku.
Right. So that came together nicely.
Of course, does not realize that 3 of the 3 so are in Minko's hand.
Yeah. Still one left.
Okay, so by dropping the 6 mon there, you get a little guaranteed safety, and you can still find Tempai. It just won't be the Sanshoku anymore. Eric drops his safe tune.
Sumo.
Now there's the sumo from Amy.
The expensive
Riichi
end.
Sumo Sanshoku Dojun worth 9,000 points. Push them right into the lead. Sorry, that's Minko. My apologies.
Yes.
Minko pushing up above 40k.
Nice win for Minko there. And we move on to East 3, Eric's dealership. Tune pair in hand. Probably a call and go, as Eric tends to do.
Boom.
What about the hand to the right?
Hand to the right looking pretty nicely as well. It's got some good sequences in the Sozu and some good shapes in the other suits as well.
Across the table is Minko, who has some awkward shapes, but there are 3 pairs there. I'm not sure if you're going to make Chitoy out of that. Probably just try to aim for a normal hand and drop some of those lone honors. Second call from Eric, though. Still not super close to Tempai.
Yeah, he's definitely doing that call and go thing. As he's dealer, just keep that going. Indeed.
Well-
And Amy now. That's got a difficult hand for Amy.
Ooh.
I don't see that really catching up here, but Minko, I think that's what you're oohing about.
Well, actually, I noticed Eric had picked up a second Dora there. Had drawn a 2,
right.
and discarded the 5, and then picked up a second one. So that could be your pair, and all of a sudden you've got Shundor 2 for 5,800. So just looking for the 3 mon and the 7 mon.
5,800 is going to go a long way right now.
Absolutely. Ooh, do you switch?
Another pair.
Oh, interesting. Chooses to drop the 4, setting up the Suji trap, and a potential Shampoo weight. And now has a really flexible So shape as well.
Yeah. 6 fits nicely in there. Also grab the 7.
Ooh, Minko got the
Meanwhile,
Riichi.
Minko got Tenpai. Hey, waiting on, that looks like the
3/6 pin.
set the 3/6, yes.
Yeah, Riichi no Mi. Eric probably likes the 7 mon as a weight because he's called 3 of the 6s already. But after drawing the 5 pin, wasn't willing to push just yet. Played the relatively safe 7 So Suji. I think he'll take the Tempai though, if it's given to him.
Meanwhile, Amy's hand's still not really coming together.
Oh, there's
No,
Tempai.
that 3 is
Oh, it doesn't take Tempai. Okay. 5 pinch is too dangerous to push with. Would have won right there. But that's okay. You can still find your way back to Tempai later if you draw around that 5 pin. The thing is, are you really willing to drop the 5 so here? I guess you can see 3 of the... Oh, all 4 of the 4s. So never mind. Yeah, the 5's pretty safe.
Oh, yeah. Fonzo looking for that last mile.
Look at Oliver. That's Tempai.
That it is.
Chitoy on the 6. Found the right way to get there. That's Chitoy Dora 2. Would need to draw it himself pretty much.
Yes, and there is one left in the wall. Only 10 tiles to go, though.
Chi.
Amy calling Chi on 456.
Fighting to make Tempai
in this last row here.
One more draw to get there. Oh,
There's the 3.
wondering why Eric didn't feel comfortable dropping the 1 so. Might have had a chance to push for Tepa here, but probably just wasn't willing to drop either the 5 or the 8, and you'd have to drop one of those to keep Tempai, so just bailed altogether.
That's right.
Yeah, Oliver makes the same read. The middle Pinzu just look really terrible here, and gives up the nice Tempai there.
It'll be a fold to give up the dealership here. And still it is a pretty close game, giving Minko an extra 3,000 points. We're moving on to East 4 now. The Dora is East, and take a look at this with Oliver. 3 Easts already in hand, with a pair of Norths. And you've got some nice-looking stuff happening in the other suits. Nothing concrete yet, but it's coming together. Wow.
Well, this isn't an instant Bangan for Minko like the dealer has, but it's not bad. You are pretty close. In fact, you are Ishan 10. If you're sitting to the
2
right.
sequences and 3 sequences and waiting on a pair. Cross Amy, meanwhile, with the Wests and the 9s. Already called.
Determined to not let Oliver win this monster.
Yeah, detecting something's up. There's a disturbance in the force.
And then, of course, Eric on the left has a south pair. That's not Yakuhai. The shapes are a bit weak. 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8 in the pin. A little uncomfortable, especially when you see 2, 7 pins discarded. Unless you were committing to go for Tanyao and calling those, it seems like this hand is going to struggle to complete.
Yeah.
In fact, I feel like
it
Eric's
might be
already made
folding
the
now already.
right
Yeah.
folding / making the Chitoy play. But yeah, this does not look good.
Chito is a good defensive Yaku to go for. If you're going to go for something here.
Well, in the meantime, Oliver has upgraded the shapes in this hand significantly. And is Ishan 10 now?
Oh, man.
There's even a
Yeet.
3, 4, 5 Sanchaku here.
But we got Tenpai from Minko waiting on the... Looks like a 5, so...
2, 5, yeah.
2-5, yes, 2-5.
Richi, Tanyao, Pinfu, no fear. Amy with the West call can win on the 1 or the 4. 1 would give Chanta an addition. Oh, and it comes out!
There's
Yep.
the 1. There's the West, and that was it, I believe. It flashed by pretty quick.
West Chanta, I think, with the 1 being the winning
Yes,
tile.
okay, yes, that was it. There we go. And that'll bring us to halftime. South 1 now starting us off. 7 Pin is the Dora, and that could fit in Minko's hand here with the sequence already set. That's a good-looking hand so
Beautiful.
far. Yes.
Would love
Sean
this
10,
dealer.
just about, yeah. Amy, meanwhile, has a pair and some good sequences in the Sozu right now. In Eric's case, another difficult one here, but you do have a couple of pairs and, 3 pairs now. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, Oliver, 2 Dora in hand right now, with also an Anko of the Sozu and also a sequence and a pair if you want to play it that way instead.
Yeah, this is quite
a nice
interesting. With so many... Oh, just draw another door. How
Dora.
about that?
Oh, just like that.
Okay, so this could be a very nice weight. Even Sananko chance. And if you don't reach E, even Suanko chance.
Not to say.
4 so is in hand
Oh,
already,
that's-
so it's not going to come that way. There is
Yeah,
one
but the
5 mon left.
The 4 Pin, though.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, the
being
4
held
pin.
onto. Oh, yeah. that's
I
right.
misspoke there. I've been getting
The
my
2-4
suits wrong all day.
happens.
Because I think about the thing I'm looking at, that I look at somebody else's hand while I'm speaking, and just see that tile.
Right.
We see a Richi
there's-
from Minko. This is the Shampo
Yeah.
weight on the 2 pin, and 7 so.
Good. You got it.
Oh, just
Sumo.
And
Sumo.
picks up a 7 so right away.
So Richi, Dora, Tsumo. No Ura, but this is a very nice pickup. And Tech Pro all the way up to 48,000.
That's going to cement your lead big time. As we continue South 1, Dora is 8 Pin now. We see a couple pairs in the Manzu right now, and some other encouraging looking shapes, but otherwise that's going to be a difficult hand to do a 2-peat with. Amy, meanwhile, has a pair of the Chun, pair of the Sozu, some other shapes kind of there, but another difficult hand. Eric's got a sequence in the Pinzu pair. Not the most efficient, but that pair will help. Oliver on the left. That's looking like the best hand so far with the Sozu all pretty nicely bunched together. A lot of good sequences forming up at the moment.
Yeah, you have all the shapes you need, which means the door that's sitting there is kind of awkward, actually. And now it's efficient to discard it, and just chooses to do so. We saw the Chun call to the right from Amy, again, hoping to end things cleanly. Oh, and that's a shape upgrade now, so Oliver definitely primed to win this one. Ishanten for Pinfu, potentially Tanyao, and Ricci, of course. Could even call for Tanyao,
Boom.
especially if the 4-pin comes out from Eric. But it doesn't look like that will happen just yet. Speaking of fours...
Minko calling the 4 pawn there.
Yeah, speeding the hand up along as well. Wants to make Tanyao out of this. And get that 2-peat, as you mentioned.
Yeah. Something I made up. But anyway, 9-mon, though, that's not a good draw for that. Especially when you have some honors you got to get rid of, and then that's all the wall gives you. That's just frustrating.
When you see the 6-8 come out from Oliver's hand, you expect he will also drop a 7. So at least you have that going for you. And now Oliver is in perfect Ishanten. Eric has been collecting these save tiles. As the hand wasn't looking amazing, now starts to discard them as it moves to Ishanten.
Yeah.
It does have a Dora.
shot.
Ricci Dora
Does have
isn't
Dora,
terrible.
yes. The other 2 Dora have been discarded so far.
And no one else seems to be inclined to use it. Even Dealer. Holding on to the 7, perhaps.
I'm still trying to get that Tanyao.
Right. Yeah, perhaps you will be able to use a door if you're able to draw it.
Yeah, the last one that we know of anyway.
Chi.
They don't quite know about
Boom.
it.
All right, Ishanten for Tech Bro, but Amy with the call into Tempai. 6-9, and there's a 9.
Dum.
All right, so finally,
Ooh,
cheap hand, but
Chun only, but that'll be enough to move things along here.
yes. South 2.
2 Dora is also south, and immediately picks up an Anko of the White Dragons with that Dora. Otherwise, a good sequence in the Manzu.
Oh!
So a great start here. But drops the Dora. Oh. I guess Amy thinking she's got some speed here, and that Dora's only going to slow down things down, perhaps.
I'm a little surprised because there's no pair in this hand. You could use a Dora pair.
You do have opportunities to get more pairs. There's another sequence in Pinzu now. Move to the other hands, we see a not quite a sequence in there's actually there's an Anko. About to say there's a pair and an Anko now, and that's really not much else. Oliver, meanwhile, definitely winding up a flush of some sort right now.
Amy just
But we've
draws
got
Tempai.
Ricci from the dealer.
So the efficient
the
play
four-
from Amy finds Tempai quick. Oh my goodness, what is
Ooh,
this?
Ipatsu!
Well, this is going to be a
Ricci
monster.
Ipatsu.
This is Mangan minimum. And Ura 2 for the Hanuman. That is... Okay, that is disgusting.
And that's into the lead in South 2 here, staying as dealer.
That is absolutely ridiculous. Ipat's Sumo on a 1-out Kanchan. I don't know if there are any other ones in hand. And then finding Ura 2 on the non-Dora pair to find the Hanuman. This is just...
And this opening hand? Take a look at this. I mean, this is already on great footing as
Yes.
well. If you could convert with that, you can convert with this. The Dora is 9-pin, though. We don't see that in this hand, but as Amy already showed, who needs it?
Right? just flip Ura to every hand and then it won't matter.
She might have a little bit more competition this time with that Anko of 9s picked up. You got another pretty nice shapes in Manzu and Pinzu as well for Eric's hand. And looking across, you see some pairs in Oliver's hand, also one of the Dora. And some good sequences forming up. Picks up another Dora there too, so this is definitely a contender. Minko, already an Anko of the 3-pin. Got 2 Doras himself too. And also another sequence in pins, Sozu.
Ishanten now.
Ishanten.
With potential Ipeko. Or a Dora
Mm-hmm.
Shampon, depending on what gets drawn here.
Yeah.
Amy valuing Tanyao here. Drops the one Mon pair instead of the 8-so.
Mm-hmm. With all these bombs
Yeet.
dropping, you gotta be ready. Especially with this bomb coming inbound. Minko calls Ricci. That's 5 Mon, 8 Mon.
Yeah, Ricci Dora 2, where 5 Mon would give you Ipeko. Amy breaks the Ipatsu. And moves one step closer to Tenpai, still a little bit of a ways away. Oh, and all the winning tiles are getting drawn. There's actually only 2 left in the wall for
Huh.
Minko. But a Khan! Well, I've
Whoa.
seen Minko do massive damage with Khans.
Yeah,
Reveals the
flips new
4.
Dora. 4 so, which Amy has. Also, Oliver has one. And so does Eric. So everybody's hand just kind of leveled up here.
Yeah, everyone except for Minko, but Minko has a chance at the Ura.
Yeah, 2 Uras now.
And Amy's definitely pushing this as dealer.
Mm-hmm. You would need that last 5, though, at this point. Or the last 8. There's 1 of each left in wall. Only 15 tiles to go.
Yeah, 2 so starting to come out. You don't want that to come out from Toyman. You want Minko to be dropping that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, there's more.
There's the 2 so. There's the 5. That's going to fit
Tenpai.
nicely in that shape there and make Fawn gets the Tenpai now.
Yeah, not choosing the Nobiton. And the 8 immediately comes out for Eric. But the 4 pin definitely looking dangerous here.
There's the 8 Mon.
This is Amy's last draw. She can safely bail.
Yeah.
There goes the door.
And she does.
So Eric, will you be able to keep Tenpai? 4, 7, 5, 8 both look bad. He might fold. Yeah.
Hearing his heart beating in his chest, and there it is. Well, it's only Ryukyoku. Only 3,000 points compared to what we were looking at happening just now, but there you go. Minko moving within 200 points of the lead as we head into South 3. Dora is 4 pin, and looks like the Dora nonsense is not letting up yet. Eric's got 2 in hand right now with 2 other pairs and some other great shapes, another sequence, and Manzu already set to go.
Yeah, this is a bonkers start as well.
I know. But look at Oliver's hand now. You got a half flush ready to go.
With double south.
With double south, yes. And a north and a white dragon sitting in there.
Oh my goodness, this draw for Eric. What is going on here?
Lord, mamma mia. Ipeko for Eric now.
Ishanten. Pifu Ipeko Dora 2. That's already Mangan.
This is incredible. This is just what you need when
these
you're
draws!
Oh my gosh.
He's not even gonna reach this.
You don't need to. It's hard. It's weird to say that when you're this deep behind the leader, but you don't need another 5.
Yeah, he's valuing the win chances here. I mean, it's already 12k, right?
Yeah.
Pifu,
There's the 2.
Tanyao,
There's the 2 he's waiting
Ipeko,
on.
Dora. I don't think Amy's gonna drop that just yet. She needs a pair.
There's the 5 though. Just
Oh, that's
picked up.
Tenpai.
Now they're just going to use that to get Tenpai Oliver. And the other 5's just picked up by Minko.
Oh, Minko's in trouble here. You can't use well, you can if you draw the 6. Oh, shift to pairs? No. Yeah, definitely some trouble here. I mean, Eric could deal in. Oliver's not declaring the Ricci here. Everyone... So both of these players need points. They do not want to signal to the other players their Tenpai just yet. But they will both continue fighting.
Oh, wow.
And, well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 of the 2 still left for Eric's weight. And then 4, 4, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they're all gone. There's 1 7 left. So 2 versus 1 between these 2 Sozu weights.
Wow.
South, are you going to call? No.
I don't think so. You want to keep this closed if you do want to score it.
I mean, calling makes it Mangan. I mean, I guess closed 22 is
That is
already...
true. Yeah. But you're really trading one Han for another, so you can go either way. That might just send even more alarm bells.
Right,
going
exactly.
in
And the other
this
thing is,
already
if you
bad
call, then you
situation.
have to try to figure out what weight you want. I mean, you don't want to expend
That's
that brain
true.
power.
Oh, there's the two-so.
Oh, now you got to think about it. Yeah, shifts. So it's not going to deal in here.
Now
So-
Tenpai, that's is that Tenpai?
It is Tenpai still.
Shanpon on 8 so south.
5-8 south.
5-8 south. So triple Shanpon?
Something like that. There is one south left as well. And of course, the 2-5 is Eric's weight. And hang on a second. Amy is Ishan 10 here.
Yeah.
The 9-so just came out, so Minko can drop that safely. Oh, that's
Now we're on
Tenpai.
last draws for everyone. That's Tenpai. Wow.
Waiting on the 5, so everyone can win on that.
Oh,
Minko
shit.
better not drop this. I don't think they will. Yeah,
Wow.
just to safely bail.
Everyone's on the 5-so. That's
Oh my
incredible.
goodness, that was wild. And
everyone gets to see these hands too, or at least two of them.
yeah, we didn't see a fast shift into the next hand. Everyone paused and looked at them. And those are the moments
Yeah.
for Eric or Oliver where you go, well, it went to Ryukyoku. I didn't win. Should I have Richi'd and tried to push everyone else off their hand? Like this doubt starts to form in your
I
head.
don't know.
Oh my goodness, that was a wild hand, but we're still going. Eric's the dealer. There's 3 Honba, 1 Richi stick in the middle. The door is the 1 Mon, and that can be accepted by Eric. He can make it a 1-2-3 Sanchoku, in fact. So plenty of opportunity for Eric to win this hand. Has great shapes to make that happen as well. And another pair means that this hand is quite close to Tenpai. 2 away. To the right, we've got Oliver, who has the south pair again and an Anko of the 8s. So this hand is Ishanten. Across the table, there are 4 pairs. And, also wants to be a normal hand. I'm not sure. Yeah, start with a 1. You can make Ipeko, Yanpeko things. To the left, Amy has a Tanyao type hand and is Dian Shanten as well. All right.
Again, just like everybody forming up immediately.
Oh, there's another pair for Minko.
Wow.
How do you want to play this? This could be Tanyao. This could be Yanpeko. Ipeko could be Chitoi.
Yeah.
Right now, Chitoi's closest. Oh, could have been Tanyao. That's okay, too. Eric also Ishan 10, by the way, with the Sanchoku chance. Unfortunately, 3 of the 1 pins have been discarded already, and so it's a little bit difficult to call for it unless the last 1 pin comes out. But then you'd be waiting on Dora, as it is.
We have Tenpai for Oliver now.
Yeah, it's double south. That's the only value here, but...
Each.
Waiting
1-4
on the
wait.
2-so.
And no thought. Oliver's just dropping it. Is going to fight Eric to the
There we
death.
go. He's got that 2-so locked up.
Yeah, Tumon's so dangerous.
Other
Doesn't care.
2-sos are in, yeah. Yeah, well, his weight is the 1 pin, 4 pin.
Yeah, so let's look at that. 2 of those left in the wall versus 1 of the 2-sos.
All the other 1 pin on the board already.
Do you shift? No, doesn't. Likes the 2-so. Could have taken the Champon 3-so 3-pin weight. 3-pin was at least Suji to the dealer, Richi.
A lot of thin weights going on here.
Yeah, Eric, of course, could see that almost all the 1-pins were gone. Oliver has no idea that the 2-sos are locked up in hand.
Amy picks up the other 4, hangs onto it.
So there's only 1 winning tile for Eric and 1 for Oliver. It's a coin flip at this point.
Amy picks up another sequence.
Amy, even now, has a chance to get into Tenpai.
Yeah.
It's 2 away,
Take
but
them even.
Oliver finally gives up on the 7, not willing to drop it.
Hmm.
Oh, and the 2-so comes out! Oh,
Oh,
no!
no. Oh.
Oh, that is a
Right at-
tragedy.
Oh, no. And there's the other 2-sos. Everyone's going to bleed that out. now,
Right.
'cause that's it. And it's going to go to another draw, it looks like.
Oh, I feel the pain, Oliver. That happened to me in my game earlier this week.
Hmm. And there's the 5. Everyone just going to let this one go. There
Oh,
you go. Eric, though, will remain dealer, picking up 3,000 points.
the insanity continues. South 3 continues. 4 Homba, 2 Richi sticks. Great starting hand.
Oh my goodness. Here we go. 2 sequences already. Got some work to do in the other suits. Well, not really. Get rid of the 2 Manzu and you're good.
Yeah.
Oliver,
Oh.
meanwhile.
Okay.
Oh,
Just another great job. Keep going, keep going.
Yeah, Oliver's got quick hand going here too. Lots of pairs, a sequence in the Manzu. Up across Minko, that's another good hand. Good sequence in Sozu. Well, it's probably the slowest of the bunch we've seen so far.
At least in
Just
call.
saying. Amy, meanwhile, look at this.
Boom.
4, 5, 7, 8, 9 in the Manzu.
Awkward.
Great presence.
Yeah, it looks good, but the
I know,
way
it's
that
awkward.
forms is, yeah.
Yeah. Tech Bro calling the Hatsu there.
Yeah, that definitely puts the pressure on the rest of the table. Now drawing two door
up
makes his
another
hand
Dora, though.
expensive.
Yes.
The
Well,
battle
it's
for
spicy.
first place is real. Oh, and fills another shape. So now you can use the Dora as your pair. And I don't know if Eric can match the speed. I mean, Eric's
That's-
pretty close too. 2 away from Tempai.
That's a good pickup for Amy, though. Look at that. Now an Anko of the 8s and the 1s.
Oh
That's going to
my.
help that incoherent shape make a lot more sense, though. I would
Oh,
have
I
hung
might
on
have-
to the 9.
Yeah, that would have made a pair
Yeah.
pretty viable there.
Yeah. But you do have a pair of the 5s, so...
I think
Quite
Abe.
laying
Oh
things
my!
out.
What are these draws? What even are these draws? That's another Anko. And so Amy, I think, is holding on to the 7 in the hopes of being able to retain Dora or perhaps make a 5, 6, 7 Sanchoku. I don't think you need to greed that much with the number of 6 in the pot. I certainly learned my lesson yesterday or the day before.
Yeah. Hey, this is San Anko.
That's Tempai.
There's Tenpai, yeah.
It's a 3, 4, 6 weight.
Riichi.
We'll throw the Riichi stick, and why not? The 4 would be Sananko,
Yeah,
Riichi Sananko, and then 3, 6 would be Riichi.
there you go. Whew.
Oh, this is so wide. Can you fight? Eric, still Ishanten.
Eric's probably, as he was saying in the chat, figuring out the tough areas, but that's 3 Mon's already going to deal in.
Oh, what?
Riichi, Uradora 3! You don't need San Anko when that happens.
And that's Amy's trait. That's her ability. Find the Ura.
Oh my goodness. That moves her to 55,000. That's over 150,000, 15,000 past the person in second.
Yeah. Almost
about
impossible
150K. Yeah.
for Minko to catch up
And-
here.
It is all last. Oliver's got his work cut out for him. And with this hand, you have a shot to get started. You have a sequence in the Pinzu. Got some pairs in Sozu and the Chun, which will make things a little more encouraging. That 6 gonna
Good,
make a good
very good.
Minko chance. Yeah. Minko, meanwhile, has a good presence of the Pinzu right now. Got some pairs, some shapes forming up right now. That 7 is gonna finish off another sequence of the 7, 8, 9 in Pinzu. Amy, meanwhile, you see a lot of pairs happening in this hand right now. Some good Pinzu sequences, and you've got some work to do with the Sozu, but we'll see. Eric, though, 2 pairs in Manzu, Anko in the Sozu, just picked up another sequence in that. So he's looking at a pretty quick hand there to put this one to bed. But
The 4
here's the value is what he needs.
the 4 so draw fixes that original play. And now draws it to another Anko. Just looking at the value of the
Oh.
hands here, it's not really what the players want. But if Eric can make some type of San Anko, Urasan business, Riichi San Anko Urasan, something like that, like pull an 80, there's a chance. You need Haneman.
Whoa. Calling Riichi, waiting on the 5 or the 8.
All right, Riichi Patsutsumo. There's only 3 in the wall.
Yeah. The other 5s and the 8s are locked up in hands.
So at least Eric aiming to confirm third place here. Minko probably not too upset about it, just doesn't want to deal in.
Hmm.
You can afford to lose 8,000. You can't afford to lose 12. And you don't really want to lose 8,000 anyway. So Minko looking like they're going
Ash.
to play safe.
You notice that Oliver there discarding the Chuns, and well, I was going to say Ipeko, but opens up the hand now, going for a 3-6 Shanpon
Sumo.
on the Sozu, but Fonzu picks up the 8 pin for Riichi Sumo Ura. That's going to put an end to this, and sadly, not enough points to really push himself to second or above 30K, but that'll be it.
Yeah.
Good third place for him.
Yeah, definitely dodged
Maybe-
the max pain. So
Yeah, it could have been a whole lot worse. In fact, I'm seeing him explain his plays there in the chat, but yeah, definitely could have been worse off.
Amy, though.
Ashley, yeah, Amy with a big win tonight, 39 points, almost 40 points added to the total. Minko with 14 points, and Eric losing 12, and Oliver going out with 41.4.
Yeah, the twice Amy hitting Ura, big Ura. Once was Ura-san to make it a Bangan. Once was Ura-2 to make a Haneman. Definitely were the two huge moments of this game that led
Yep.
to her victory here.
Wow.
We
I
see
mean, there was just some crazy like weights going on.
Just-
It's like not even the hands that ended up being a score were crazy to watch.
yeah, the,
Yeah.
the high pie were crazy. The draws were insane. This was one of the most fun games that I've spectated in a long time.
Absolutely. Well, you see the scores updated on the side of your screen. Now there's a 100-point gap between 7th and 8th. Take a look at that. Between Minko and Amy here. And it's Amy that got the big win and is now... that's crazy to think about. With Amy and Minko hitting first and second, and there's that much of a gap between them right now.
Yeah, it's
Eric is slipping back into the demotion zone here with negative 111, and Oliver at 93.2 below is just above that line.
Very much a split battle here between the two divisions, between fighting for first place if you're in the top 7, and fighting to stay out of the bottom 4 if you are in the bottom 9.
Mm-hmm.
But wow, I'm really curious to see as we get into session 4 and session 5 how this changes. If it continues the polarizing display that we've seen, or if it will balance out a little bit. Perhaps the players who are deep in the demotion zone will feel the pressure to fight, more and more, and end up dropping further and further, and giving more points to the players who are already ahead and don't feel the need to be so aggressive. That might be a reason why we see such a split, but it feels a little too early to make that conclusion just yet.
Right. It is interesting, though, that with the way we're at right now, could only cause things to split further. And I mean, I'm seeing you there at 15th. I mean, I got to get your thoughts. What are you thinking right now? What's your plan going into the second half of this season?
Yeah, I was at negative 0.1 before the last set, and now I'm at negative 133.9. Still feeling pretty zen about it, though.
Realize...
Yeah, I did lose a lot of points.
You're taking this very well.
In one session. Of course, A1 a very difficult division, and I've been plagued with a bit of bad luck and a bit of bad decisions. So hopefully I'll fix the bad luck, bad decisions, and then get a little bit better luck. But yeah, I'm not going to try to play anything too differently. Maybe just maybe not fight Kinyan if she's on a hot streak. Will be goal number 1. And maybe the same for the other players as well. But I've got a lot of matches next week. I'm playing, I think, 2 sessions in 1 week. So,
oh wow!
Because of the World Riichi Championships are coming up, and a lot of the players who are in the American Riichi Mahjong League are also playing in the World Riichi Championships. So there's some scheduling conflicts, and so we're mixing around the schedule. So good luck to all of those players who are participating in that. I know Steve is one of those, and Steve currently the leader in Division A1, not terribly surprising. But that battle for first there is going to be exciting to watch as we move down the road.
Absolutely. I mean, you really are watching some of the best players, not just in the U.S., but really some of the best players in the world, arguably.
Well, we're working our way there. I'm not sure you can say that completely just yet. There's so many strong players.
Don't sell yourselves short. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, we are definitely... I'm definitely quite pleased to see how strong so many of the players in this league are, and I'm quite excited to watch us continue to grow and grow. And if any of the viewers are interested in participating in this league and continue to grow, you can sign up for the fall session, which is going to start in about a month. Would you say a month and a half, perhaps? Sign-ups last until September 19th. I believe, and you can sign up.
And if you sign up right now, you can also get a chance to be a sub, perhaps, as we head through. Of course, things happen, and sometimes people need to drop out for some whatever reason. So you can get a
Absolutely.
good dry run somewhere, anywhere in this league, And even if you're not quite at the level of everybody you saw here tonight, we really do accept people of all skill levels. We will definitely, it'll work your way into kind of the level that you play the best at and where you can really hone your skills and maybe shoot for the top one day.
Absolutely. We have 5 divisions, and everyone enters at the bottom one, so you can just work your way up the ladder. And if you are interested in signing up, the website is AmericanRicci.org. There's a sign up sheet right on the main page. You can also follow us at Twitter at AmericanRicci, and you can check out previous broadcasts of the league on our YouTube page, which is visible on the screen right now, tinyurl.com/ARMLYT. So give us a subscription there and a follow here to be alerted whenever we go live.
Absolutely. And of course, you can find me throughout the week on my Twitter at SB Singletary, SB_Singletary, where I go through my own personal Mahjong journey and well as have some hot takes about new logos and stuff.
Awesome.
Really anything goes there. Can they find you anywhere, Nathan?
No, they cannot. They can find me. They can find me in the standings
Right here.
hopefully climbing the standings in the near future.
Yeah.
But yeah, be sure to give Blaine a follow there. And yeah, any final thoughts, Blaine, before we call it?
I don't know. That was
I think perhaps we gave our final thoughts.
I know, that was final thoughts, and man, I mean, I'm going to be thinking about these games for a long time, I think, because that was just some crazy action there.
Yeah, I saw a few things in there that stood out to me in particular, things that I might want to adjust in my own decision making as far as constructing
sure.
hands. So I'll definitely be thinking about those moves as we move forward in the season.
Mm-hmm. Well, that'll do it for us tonight. For myself, Blaine Singletary, and Nathaniel here, also running the stream while commentating it, which is an impressive feat, I gotta say. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and have a good night.